Ryan Booth here on episode 712 of the ChairShot Podcast. It's only the Irish boys this week, as Joe is off on another deal-making endeavour over to the US of A. So I hope he's enjoying his trip. Hope he's enjoying his time away from his CFP duties. And yes. I hope he enjoys this show when he hears it. He'll report back. He'll give us a report when he gets in. It's me, Barry, hosting as always, joined by the ever-dependable Paul.
Always a pleasure, Barry.
Over there with his upgraded desk at his new establishment. You know, he's driving the desk over there. He's got so many knobs and aux cables. It's all going over there. How is the gaff going? Because he's looking very professional. Obviously, listeners can't tell, but I can tell. He's looking very professional in his current setup.
Yeah, so I'm sitting in an armchair with a table kind of pulled over so I can rest my microphone upon it. Very, very comfortable. Have the door to the hall behind me, television in front of me. The television has finally arrived.
Where it belongs, yep.
So mostly very, very good. A few hiccups, which we will talk about briefly, but so far so good.
I've had a very fairly boring week here as I settle into married life. I was a bit sick earlier in the week, but I'm all right now. It was just
I saw on your stream.
Yes, I was going into gratuitous detail on the stream. Maybe I'll pare that back. Seems like I don't think people like that. So I'll spare people the gory details here on this broadcast. We do have a bevy of wrestling news to get into, though, before we follow up on the life stuff. So I suppose the AEW Mank tickets went on sale this week. Now, Paul, you're giving this one a skipperoo, I believe, aren't you?
Not by choice necessarily, but yes.
Yeah, but you weren't on the hunt.
No, if I'd put the bank card in, it would have told me that the funds were insufficient to go to this show. So sadly, we'll be missing out on this one. I mean, if were it up to me, Barry, I'd be going to every one of these shows. Every time they're
of course
in the UK, Forbidden Door, not necessarily every TV taping if it's very, right next to a pay-per-view, but I would at least go to the pay-per-view. I would have loved to go to these Manchester tapings, maybe even pair it up with a football game if kind of it aligned properly.
Yeah.
New appartement is what it is. I mean, I was speaking to one of my friends who not as recently as me, but new place as well. And he was saying, and of course, you've been through this, Joe's been through this, I'm just recently going through this, but it's like, just assume that everything is going to cost like $2,000.
Yeah.
Everything that needs to be done. That needs to be done. I got $2,000. Here you go. That needs to be done. $2,000. Here you go. So I'm kind of going through those growing pains a bit. So I was watching with a little bit of FOMO as all the talk was going back and forth about ticket prices and packages and what people were getting and so on. But what happened here in the week was I was in the process of picking up the television, segueing away from the AEW news for a moment, but we'll circle back around to it. Picking up the television with the intention to watch, as the first thing to watch on it after it was brought to the apartment, Dynamite. So this was on the Thursday. Went to get the TV, brought it back, set up the little sound bar, which I have for it as well. And then sit down to put on Dynamite and, hang on a second. Where's the remote control? Where's the clicker for putting the Dynamite on? Left it behind. No remote control. Drive back to get it. Now, door to door, it's only like a 10-minute drive, so it was fine. Drive back. Can't find the remote control. Then I find it's a black remote control and it was upturned with the buttons facing down on a black leather chair. So it was like invisible. There it is. Start driving back out here and I got a phone call from my brother who was here thinking he's probably going to be, where are you? You're taking too long, blah, blah, blah. He's like, Paul, the hall is full of water.
Oh, no.
And I was like, okay, so I'm already driving there. Now I'm trying to, everything in my being to hold back from like putting the foot on the pedal and getting there immediately, you know? I'm like, that's urgent, but I still have to follow the rules of the road, you know? But drive back, come into the hall, fucking water everywhere. So there's it being an apartment in a block, we have a very big water tank, but it comes with like a pump as well. So you have like an electric pump, which will, pump the water to all the various bits and pieces around the apartment. And something in the pump had gone. And so the water was kind of spraying out of it. That's all contained now. It's not fixed yet, but it's contained. Mostly dried out. I have a dehumidifier going in the hall behind me here. Try and dry out the carpet. Unfortunately, carpet out there. Plumber came by this would have been on the Friday after then. Plumber came by. Oh yeah, that pump's gone. They go every, 10, 20 years, whatever it is. That'll be €900 to replace.
Oh my God.
Ooh. So, I mean, luckily I'd kind of already accepted that the AEW tickets were going to be a no-go. But I mean, I am reaching cartoon status where you open a wallet and the fly comes out of it.
Yeah. You're rocking up to AEW Manchester in your barrel, with the straps on. Yeah, listen, that fucking sucks. And as you mentioned earlier, that's the thing I'm sure everyone has cautioned you on constantly,
But it's a one-time. It's not a one-time forever thing. But I mean, the outgoings are going to start to calm down a little bit now. The blinds are coming this week. 800 something euro. Pumps coming Tuesday. 900 something euro. Fucking what else do I have spent money on? Got the internet in. Got the freezer. Got the air fryer. Got the George Farm.
Okay, the crucials. The
crucials has all come together. So I did ultimately watch Dynamite, so we'll be talking about that. But I do have to say in advance, my Dynamite watching experience was a little bit affected by the pump problem. Fair. So I was like all ready to sit down and watch it, give it my full attention, and like even starting to watch it was delayed by 2 hours.
Okay.
Of trying to get like kitchen roll down and get towels up in like little what you call them, like draft excluder shape to put down so the water doesn't get everywhere. So my mind was a bit all over the place as I finally sat down to watch Dynamite, but I did watch it in the end. But yeah, that was the big leak that kind of affected my Dynamite watching this week. So I did watch Collision as well to make up for it. Collision was a very fun show as well. But you got tickets anyway for Manchester. You're going to.
I did. Now I will say it was a tough experience. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember which one I signed up for. I think it was the Ticketmaster pre-sale because they were doing one
company in the world.
Oh, the best company. I don't know
the Ryanair of tickets.
Yeah, I listen. I fucking hate Ryanair. I don't even think I would tire them to that degree. So yeah, it was Ticketmaster. You could have gone to Co-op Live's website. The usual thing. The venue had this company had one and Ticketmaster had one. So I go on to Ticketmaster, right? And me and a couple of buddies were all trying to get tickets for our group. The usual thing, you're going with a group, like whoever can get them first, just grab them and we'll all pay that person. Great.
Exactly.
Now, slightly odd number here. Because I'm meeting a group of pals, and typically I would bring the wife, but she just is completely out of leave. Couldn't go midweek thing. She'd have to take unpaid leave.
Right.
A week before Christmas, so the wife was out. So our number was 5, kind of an awkward number. So I got in anyway, and I was trying to find. I was like, okay, we don't want the cheapest seats. We just go like one tier ahead. And I was on the Ticketmaster site, Ticketmaster presale. I'm like, trying to think, there's nothing left. On the little drop down menu, it just will not find me 5 tickets. It's like, okay, what if I like manually go down to the map and I like click on the little blue dots and I mark them?
Yeah,
and that was giving me some success until I went to. But this was after about a half hour of the classic Ticketmaster thing of just nothing coming up and all that other shit. So I click on 5 dots together on the little map after a couple of minutes where people had maybe spat stuff back out of their baskets or whatever. Little pop-up comes up. This is just great Ticketmaster stuff. These tickets are on the aisle. You have to order them in multiples of 2. I have never, ever in my life heard of this rule. Funnily enough, except for when you're talking about maybe flights where they're like, you can't leave you and your friend can't, some airlines won't let you pick a window seat and an aisle. So, because you can't leave straight. Things like that.
The only place I've seen anything like that is at the cinema as well. Whereas
cinema, that's probably a better
example.
Cinema
won't let you pick 2 seats one seat away from more occupied seats. They want to leave one between.
Yes, yeah, that's probably a better example of what I'm thinking. I have never heard of this for a live event in my entire life. I mean, in my experience going to concerts and wrestling, it's always pretty much just you fucking grab a ticket and you just fucking grab a ticket and that's it.
Yes.
No. So here's what I twigged after a couple. So I was like, hey, these tickets I've marked are aisle tickets, and so they have to be ordered in multiples of two. I was like, that's fucking moronic. Okay,
doesn't make any sense. But okay.
Let me go grab some non-aisle tickets. Like, wait. They're all aisle tickets, because wrap your head around this. The Ticketmaster pre-sale was only aisle seats. So effectively the entire pre-sale last Friday or Monday rather was exclusively sold in pairs of two. So no odd numbers were able to buy tickets. Absolutely fucking insane. I was thankfully with the assistance of a friend of the show, Rich, I was able to get a code for a different pre-sale, and that was pretty much just open season, and it was just grab whatever. Rich. Thank you very much for your contributions. But I was like, Ticketmaster, my fucking.
What if you have like a family of 5, just each shit?
Exactly. I guess we have to slum it in general. It doesn't matter that you went to the bother of doing the pre-sale. You have to figure it out in general. There's a big building. I don't think it's going to sell out, but like, what a farce. What a stupid that. But that's Ticketmaster for you. Got there in the end. Whatever. Got my flights booked and all that other stuff. It'll be a fun day out. C2 matches confirmed for that show, so that'll be fun.
What's confirmed?
C2. Tony said they are going to do Continental Classic matches.
C2 matches. I thought you meant IC.
I will see 2 matches, 2-hour-long matches.
That's cool. That's cool.
Those are in the bag. So looking forward to that. Elsewhere in AEW news, it's not really super relevant to us here in Ireland, but AEW shows are now going to be available on HBO Max to purchase. That is not going to be, though, that is not a WWE Netflix type thing.
No, it's not a freebie.
It's not just with your subscription. It's just you can buy them through that service with a discount if you're a subscriber, which is fair enough. So it's kind of like, I think it's a tenner, which is what the service costs as well. So it's kind of like, so basically they're kind of like, hey, same price for an AEW pay-per-view, but you'll get HBO Max as well. Is kind of the logic you use. So there you go. Maybe down the line they will graduate to the point where the shows are just on there.
I like that. I like it as kind of a mutually beneficial deal between, if, like you said, someone who's an AEW fan but might not necessarily have Max can get for the same price, but also get a month of Max. Or people who have Max but might not necessarily buy the pay-per-views can now get them at a reduced price. Kind of suits both sides. Yeah,
absolutely. So, and look, I mean, I know people were hoping for the, if you're in the US and you have Max, you're hoping that it'll be on there. But I mean, it does seem like it's a little bit of an underrated success story. AEW being able to actually sell 100,000 pay-per-views a month in this climate, in this subscription era. It's pretty, I think they want to hold on to that revenue.
I mean, they are the last of the dying breed, right? Like,
truly.
The news just was then the last week that UFC are moving to Paramount Plus.
Yes. Yeah.
WWE are on
a subscription
Netflix
ESPN thing,
and ESPN in the US, and so I wonder how long AEW. I mean, the pay-per-view buy rates have been fairly consistent since they started doing them. They haven't massively gone up or down.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they can kind of maintain that, that's presumably what they'll continue to do, unless, again, one of these fucking content-starved streaming services goes, I'll give you $18 billion for the rights. Let's see.
Yeah. UFC were one of the last kind of normal bias on pay-per-view, and now they're in the content world.
Now they had a similar ESPN deal,
right? Yeah, where you buy it on top of your subscription.
You buy it on the app.
So now it's just the Freak Show boxing. You actually pay.
Now you get your shit right-wing MMA for free.
Why? In between watching episodes of Yellowstone.
I haven't been into that since 2015. I think you got off that train quick enough.
In more relevant and, dare I say, good news for the Euros, along with this HBO news, all out from Canada is going to be an afternoon show in the US now. I think it's kicking off at 2 p.m. It's in Toronto, I believe.
Yes.
Isn't it? It's kicking off at 2 p.m., I think, in whatever time, 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., depending on your time zone, which is going to be on a Saturday evening. That is going to be an 8 p.m. kickoff time.
Oh, baby.
For All Out here on this side of the world. So that is, I mean, there's been lots of, so obviously this is being done because the WWE counter programming stuff. We were going to wonder at some point, would someone blink? And by someone, I mean AEW, and I think they did, and we can weigh up the positives and negatives of that. But sincerely, I mean, the chances of me like actually buying an AEW show and watching it live go up about 500% by it being at fucking 8 o'clock on a Saturday. I mean, that is just, that is, especially because they are so long, and not to do length discourse, but like, you know, even if it goes insanely long, it being done by 2 as opposed to just like,
you're getting a full night's sleep. It's not throwing your sleep schedule off wildly. I mean, you mentioned the pros and cons of it all. I mean, the optics are that WWE are going to, you know, keep coming, and AEW are going to keep having to swerve out of their way, so to speak. But I mean, I think there's something to be said for the fact that AEW have anyway a very strong following on this side of the Atlantic. That there's maybe something to appealing to those customers as well as the domestic ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all for it, obviously, as are you, because personally means we can watch them and not be totally fucked come Monday for work. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we see the ticket sales in the UK. Forbidden Door just did very well. Obviously, the Wembley shows, and now the Manchester show. I mean, why not we wouldn't necessarily need to do every time, but maybe 2 or 3 times a year have a pay-per-view on a little bit earlier so that, you know, your fans of this side of the world can kind of appreciate and, you know, benefit from it.
I mean, some people seem a little bit upset that, like, you know, they bailed or whatever from the head to head, but and I think we make the argument as well that like well, they've separate audiences, and how much is it going to hurt them really? Blah, blah, blah. I think that's fair. I kind of get it, but my kind of thing is just kind of like, I just don't think, even with WWE feeling like they're cooling a little bit, you know, coming out of their super hot era, I think the cold hard reality of it is that it doesn't really benefit AEW to go head to head on a show where they're bringing back stars like Brock and AJ. I mean, like the last couple of head to heads they've done, I've seen a lot of comments online, people going, look, a lot of neutrals going, look, that AEW show was great and I really liked it. I actually think you might get a little bit more of that now by going on earlier, because I think, you know, I think this is all minuscule either way. But I think you will get people who will now maybe either watch both or will be less put off watching AEW because it's on earlier. And if they go out there and they have another, because we know their pay-per-views are great, like the pay-per-views are always great, and people get all of that in, they see the whole thing and it's great and they're on a high, and then they watch like a disappointing 4-hour 3-match, that's a bit of an exaggeration, pay-per-view. You know, they might be going, oh, well, because they went on earlier, I got to watch both on the same day, and one was clearly better than the other. You know, again, maybe it'll be a benefit to them in the long term. But I know Meltzer was like, prior to them moving into the afternoon, he was big time like this show is going to be their all time worst performing. Which I think was All Out. Yes, yeah. I was, because I was watching like the clip, and Brian was he was pushing back a little bit. I didn't really agree. I mean, again, I understand the need to move, but if they did go to head to head, I do think that, like, I think the 100 or so thousand people who buy these shows, I don't think they're gonna. Again, this is all very hard to measure. This is all very, very hard to measure, but I don't really think that they're going to be deterred. Like, oh, I have to watch Brock Lesnar and John Cena, but I don't know. That stuff's all very hard to quantify.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, see that it continues, because there's the big John Cena retirement coming up in December, and there was, I mean, it doesn't seem now that there will be movement of that show, but there was talk that show might have been moved to, again, parallel with World's End. Seems like that probably won't be the case now, but we'll keep an eye.
Yeah, that is an ever that's a situation that is just going to be watched going forward. The other AEW news, just to jump ahead a little bit to the Collision review, we did get our first in God knows how long. Spit it out, sorry. AEW mention of Eddie Kingston on television. Called out by Big Bill and Brian Keith. Did they write him off? I don't remember what that even was.
No. He wasn't.
They were just calling him out to call him out.
Yeah. Well, Big Bill said, I'm from New York City, and there's some other guy out there from New York City who's got a big mouth, and I'm going to call him out. And that was the extent of it. So no, I mean, Eddie Kingston obviously was injured in the New Japan match, so I don't think AEW had a chance to really write him out in any meaningful way. He just kind of disappeared off TV. So my initial feeling watching this was a feeling of kind of, is that it? Is that it after, especially the last couple of pay-per-views, there's this, I can't speak for everybody, but growing feeling of like, we had the Gabe Kidd coming in for the multi-man match. Oh, is Eddie Kingston going to be there? Then Gabe Kidd for the cage match. Is Eddie Kingston going to be there? Mm-hmm. And it's, this growing anticipation for the big Eddie Kingston return, and you get it like offhandedly mentioned in a promo on Collision that he's coming back. Like there's part of me that feels like Eddie Kingston's return after coming up on a year and a half out should be a bigger deal. Should be a return on a pay-per-view or on the main event of a Dynamite, However, I've since kind of come around to appreciate what this might mean to somebody who's been putting in the effort and showing very strongly lately, that being Big Bill. Mm-hmm. Maybe the way to look at this is they're giving this to this big prize to Big Bill.
Yeah.
And let's see, obviously there's a lot of injuries at the moment, so spots opening up. Maybe let's give Big Bill a chance here and give him the ball and see how he runs with it. And not to think of it from the Eddie Kingston point of view necessarily, or the fans built up in their minds expectation of what the Eddie Kingston return can mean. And maybe let's see, okay, can we actually use this to elevate somebody rather than, what it would mean if he came into a feud with an already built, whatever, Okada or someone on that level,
Yeah, I didn't even really honestly think about the way they were bringing it back. It was just kind of the pandemonium of, oh my God, they're potentially bringing him back. But then, I don't quite know how to feel about that context. But I think that's an interesting way to look at it that you've mentioned there. So we'll see what comes of it. But definitely, I think a shot in the arm they could use. I mean, I don't really care to discuss the rating from this week, which was their lowest ever non-preemption. I mean, it is notable, I guess. But even though it feels like the shows have been really good for a nice consistent couple of months now, it doesn't feel like they're seeing that turnaround at the box office in any capacity. I mean, look, obviously, like Forbidden Door does really well. Manchester will do really well. They're doing very well in their international markets, and then they go back to the US, and it's like, they're running the small buildings, which is good. But they're not packing them in there necessarily either. And I think a guy like Kingston coming back when you're down Swerve and you're down Osprey and you're down all these names, I think that's a nice little get. So
100%.
So that's something to look forward to. I think that's it for the wrestling stuff for today. Any other news and tidbits before we jump into our other features?
Well, it's my birthday coming up, of course.
Ooh.
I don't know what age I'm going to be. I've lost track of that a long time ago. 30s, both in their 30s.
Yeah, both in their 30s, yeah.
Both in their 30s. And so I did buy myself, okay, so first of all, I got a little gift here, which I'm looking forward to making. Star Wars Lego. Which one is that one? Does it say what it is? The Home One Star Cruiser. This is the one where it's a trap lives.
Oh yeah,
It doesn't live there. Works. I should. It's the Return of the Jedi. Like a Home One Star Cruiser. It's the big ship from the end of Return of the Jedi. So I'm looking forward to that. But I did buy myself a box of Twin Peaks Log Lady Chronicles trading cards.
Trading cards, okay.
Trading cards, just as a gift to myself. I'll show you here. Sorry, listeners. I'll probably if I'll put some photographs on my Blue Sky or on my Instagram or something. But nice little binder here.
I'd have to do an artwork this week, so maybe I'll work one of them in there. Oh, they're cool. I'm not even a big Twin Peaks.
They're pretty cool. They got cool little. Pretty cool.
They're pretty cool, yeah.
Each of them little bits, specific episodes, and then the log lady with a quote about the episode. Yeah, cool stuff. And I did get, as part of that box, each box comes with 3 autographs of actors from the show. Some very, very minor, some a little bit major. So I can go through them here quickly. And then this wanted to bring me on more broadly to one of my hobbies, which is kind of, trading cards and or autographs. So I just wanted to go through some of the stuff I have here. Anyway, these are my Twin Peaks cards. So I'm going to show Barry here. And like I said, I can put some of these up on my socials. This is the first one we pulled. Now, unfortunately, this is a very minor character and is part of one of the worst story arcs of the show, which is a season 2 story.
Okay.
When James, the James character, who's the guy with the very square kind of head, who's in love with Donna. This is a character involved in that storyline. The actor's name is John Apicella, but look at a very, very pretty card.
Okay, yeah, very nice.
Card autograph. It's very, very nice. Then we got also a very minor character, but one that's a little bit more iconic, I feel like, because this is from the pilot episode, which is maybe, with the exception of some of the finales, like the iconic Twin Peaks episode.
Yeah.
So this is, the actor's name is Troy Evans. This is the high school principal who announces that Laura Palmer has passed away.
Okay, that's a good one.
Very, very cool. And then the third one, which we were very happy with, Victoria Caitlin, who plays the Blackie O'Reilly character later in the series. That's she's the proprietor of the One-Eyed Jack's brothel. And Richard Bamer, who plays Ben Horn, who's the owner of the hotel that a lot of the show takes place in. Double autograph. Baby, how about it? And then I since learned that Richard Bamer also played the lead, or one of the leads, if not the lead, in the original West Side Story movie from the 1970s. So
whack a couple of quid on the eBay resale of that bad boy.
Yeah. Happy with that. But then that got me onto, like, I had those out for show and tell. I was like, then I have this other, and now I have a mountain of stuff here. So I thought to talk about, one of my little, I wouldn't say one of my main, it's one of my little interests, one of my little hobbies I have. I guess I started getting into this in like 2022, when I was going through some shit. Big old long relationship had ended. So I found myself a little bit directionless. And I think Joe had mentioned on this podcast that he had got a box of these AEW cards, as you'll remember.
Yes.
I didn't really have any interest, but those kind of things happened at just the same time for me to say, that's something that I can kind of put my attention towards in a less destructive way, I guess. So over the years since, I've picked up both some trading cards, not anything, crazy, some trading cards and some autographs that it's just kind of my thing lately. Like if I come across something that I'm interested in and I'll see, like you do with like video game special editions or, whatever, and it's, come on, a little autograph. I'll like pick it up. So I have some cards here. I have, first of all, the TV show Lost. I'm obviously a big fan of.
Of course, yeah.
This isn't an autograph, but this is an authentic piece of T-shirt worn by one of the characters, John Locke.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, eh? Then I got a few football ones because I've ever since I was a kid, big Manchester United fan. So I got a few football ones. My hero as a kid was Eric Cantona, so I do have a big Eric Cantona auto.
That's pretty
cool. And an Eric Cantona match worn relic as well. And I have a few other random ones, like a little Paul Skull, Roy Keane.
Oh, very good. Okay, this is some heavy hitters here.
Yeah, very good guy. Peter Schmeichel as well. Coming back to AEW, I did get the AEW autograph collection going as well, but I've limited it so that to keep it from spiraling out of control somewhat.
Okay.
My collection for AEW specifically is autographs only of the men's world champions. So each person who's won the world championship, I will get a card. Now these can vary from very, very cheap to a little bit crazy to get your hands on. But we got a Jericho.
Okay.
Who comes after Jericho? Mox.
Mox.
Now I pulled that was a card I pulled in the very first box I got.
Nice.
Mox auto with the belt, which I love. I love the
belt see that well. for the theme.
It's the whole point. Now this is probably the best card in the collection. This is a 4 out of 5.
Wow.
Kenny Omega autograph.
Nice. Okay.
4 out of 5. Only 5 of them in the world.
What is that signature, Kenny? My God.
I don't. Yeah, it's mad. We've got AEW event logo patches. Hanger.
Okay.
Very nice autograph there. Then we got the Judas, of course, who beat Hanger there as a punker. Which I thought it was going to
be another Jericho one. My order is all this one.
We got old Maxwell then.
MJF, lovely.
MJF. We got Big Joe.
Joe, fucking hell! You've got fucking. I'm trying to think who's left.
Well, who's left?
Swerve. Okay, excellent.
Swerve, of course, and then finishing up with probably my favorite one,
the American Dragon. That's a pretty cool one.
American Drag.
Oh, so you had the full set as well. I didn't realize you actually had the full set. That's nice.
Have the full set, of course, and you might have noticed. And again, if I post these, listeners will notice. All from different sets, so I don't want any two cards to look identical. Then, again, not autographs, but I've spoken about this before. My Squirtle cards.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all that.
Not autographed by the big man.
Not autographs by the leader of the Squirtle Squad himself. But I do have a copy of every Squirtle card that's been produced as part of the old. There's some more there. Well, every different artwork they've released, I've got one card of. And then closing out the cards, I got a funny one. This was one that was produced in the same design. I think he might have got a cease and desist, in fact. Same design as the first edition AEW ones, little Matt Cardona.
That is very actionable. That is very fucking. That is hilarious. That is so funny.
And it's actually from his AEW appearance.
Yes, as well. Yeah,
Bryce
is that Bryce? Yeah.
It is Bryce. Then I've got a handful of ones from when we used to go to the old Dublin arena. We got a little Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne, lovely.
Again, these are ones that just personally mean a little to me.
Have a relevance to you. Walter, yes, the ring general.
And my personal favourite from back in the days, little Zach Gibson.
Zach Gibson. What happened to him, eh?
Don't ask. And then, of course, to close out, obviously back in the day, long time ago, I was a big TNA guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get, and these are the cheapest probably, but I had to get some of my favourite little guys from back in the day. Little Petey Williams, Canadian
Lovely,
Destroyer.
yeah, very good.
Of course. Love this one. Curry Man.
Yes, very good. Exclamation mark in the signature. Yes.
I know. We've got Motor City Machine Guns.
Very good.
The only person who appears twice in my collection, of course, is Big Joe.
Oh, very good. Okay, you threw the
Actually,
air.
I had that one before the AEW one, but I kind of had to get an AEW one to finish the collection. And then Big AJ, of course.
Very
my favorite match for a long time, AJ and Joe.
The collective community.
Really the piece of resistance, one of my favorite pieces in my whole collection here. It also has Willie Urbina and Hector Guerrero, but don't worry about that because you got Tenay and Don West at the top.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Tenay and Don West, God love him, rest in peace.
Rest in peace to the great man.
The great man. I had to get my hands on a Don West because back in the day, such a fan of them. And then to kind of close us out here, what else do we have? What a bits, crazy bits of I have a script from a French movie here called Les Dissociés.
Okay.
which I bought, and it came with a signed, I don't know if you can see that there, a signed script.
Yeah. So which part of the gang did that? Like director, actors, or?
They were like a French comedy troupe. I think they all wrote and kind of, I don't know who one of them directed the movie, but that's
right.
Vincent Tirel, Julien Josselin, and Raphael Decrac. I was a big fan of. Now this was before it really went to shit, unfortunately. But God, when would this have been? Again, probably around 2022, or maybe 2021 even. Because I think this was like a 20th anniversary of the original self-titled album, but I got a little Tenacious D poster with Kyle Gass and Jack Black autograph.
Nice.
Of course, now he spends his time doing Minecraft movies and throwing his friends under the bus.
But that was back when it was real.
back in the good old days. And then we'll close out here. We don't have to drag this on too long. I will do a little post that people can see these if they're interested. But probably my two absolute, might be among my two favorite things I own. I, of course, have the now out of print Red Letter Media Volume 1 DVD.
Nice. With the big
man.
The three
don't do any more Plinkett videos, brothers. We're okay for those. But
yeah. Some more physical media we'd be down with that, you know.
And then, of course, the autographs. I have this in a nice little case now as well. The autographed GoldenEye 007 cartridge by old Matt Johnson. And as we know,
yes, of course,
that movie, of course, now releasing.
Premiered, in fact.
Premiere in Toronto. Hopefully we'll get over here sometime. But there was just a few bits and pieces of
That's a good collection.
Say, sorry for the listeners. People at home are screaming out, where's the Rene Dupree 8x10? I have come across it recently. I have to say, I don't know where it is now. I think it might have gone on a one-way trip to Attic Ski Land, never to return. But the Rene Dupree 8x10 is somewhere around. I don't know where it is. I don't have it currently, unfortunately.
I do have a collection near me. I'm just going to very quickly reach for that. Hang on.
Lovely stuff.
Alrighty. Sorry, listeners. I had to go AFK there for a minute. Put my headphones back on. Okay. Just since because I do have some. I'm not a collector at all, like yourself. But my camera doesn't really working. Okay, well I'll just read them to the
Yeah.
I have got. I've got this really awesome photo of Speedball from like a match in DDT where he was upside down doing his moonsault knee drop thing and his face is covered in blood, but he signed it in a very weak red pen and so it barely shows up. So you can't even really tell it's signed, which is a shame. I have got one of Low Key holding the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship and he signed it.
Very nice.
His name in kanji and 65th IWGP Junior Champion. He knows his number. So that's good. And I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but I was ordering something from GCW after a WrestleMania weekend. And they're like, for like a tenner, do you want us to just throw some leftover WrestleMania weekend stuff in the box? And I was like, go on, whatever for a tenner. And to be fair to the lads, it was obviously just leftover tat. But, it was free. It was like a tenner. I have a hardcore Holly signed 8x10.
That's nice.
Just HH, like he's Hulk Hogan signing off a tweet. And the great Sasuke as well, which is pretty good. That's a pretty good one to have. There was some other stuff as well, but as far as the signatures go, that was the only stuff that GCW threw in. They gave me some of like a pin as well and stuff like that. What else have I got here? These are two great ones. Roderick Strong from when I went to Mania Weekend, and my most cherished one of all. One a very saucy picture of one Maurice Mizanin signed to Barry, Maurice XX French Kiss, and of course, look, we love Maurice. Maurice, very very pretty lady, lovely 8x10, very cherished possession of mine. This was sent to me by one Scott McAvoy from back in the day.
Scott,
that one has a special place in the collection, along with also, I believe, Kevin Steen 8x10. He also sent me as well on that occasion. So yeah, those are cherished. I think that's a great little collection you got there.
Thank you very much.
Are you gonna would you do like a display in the gaff at some point, or are you just happy?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah.
That stuff is kind of, because I've been in this house and with my own little personal office space here for, I think we're coming up on 3 years, and this stuff is all just still in its plastic containers. You know, they're not.
Yeah.
I have not yet found a way to display any of this. I have like art prints and these autographs. I'm like, I could hang these up, and I just never. I'm like, because then you're like, okay, what kind of frame? Do I really care? Yeah, and then it goes back into the Polly Pocket, and then you stop thinking about it. You know.
Yeah, I do have some frames watched on like eBay, where even the containers that I have the cards in will kind of slot into a. How many do I have? 9 world champions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 world champions. So you could even do like a 3x3. But then what happens when someone else wins the world? What happens when Kyle Fletcher wins the world title?
Yes,
figure that out. But we'll see. I mean, for now, they're just kind of on my shelves, not displayed in any special way. And that'll do for now, but I'll figure out something. I probably, once we do have a spare room here for an office, that might lend itself to some display opportunities. We'll see.
Alrighty. Do we want to segue over to our features?
Yes, we will. We got our fantasy update. Joe still, as I said last week, he's not here, but Joe is nipping at my heels here.
Okay.
18 points for Joe this week, 10 for me, and 10 for you. So we got the same. Joe has won the week.
Okay.
What's the difference between Joe and myself now is about 75 points, I think. So it's getting a little bit close. And Joe has an extra trade over me. So if Joe does at some point want to, cash in on the Claudio or the Kyle O'Reillys, or Joe can. If something opens itself up, Joe could very much catch me by the end of this. Joe's also had 51 more matches than me this year. His team.
Yeah, he's got a workers team, but he's just not picking up.
Don't win enough. That's right. Especially like Claudio for me is one that like 25 matches to have only 51 points.
Yeah, I mean, he's got himself in a good little slot, as the Death Rider guy. But he is the guy who loses before his opponent goes on to face Mox. That he is very
well. But I think the problem for Claudio is more so. I think Claudio would be a solid like 7th or 8th pick, but that Joe had him as a 2nd pick.
Yeah,
is kind of why Joe is behind. Maybe Garcia as well.
Maybe not this year, obviously, because we've set things in stone. Maybe next year, one thing we could consider. A little bit of Mario Party style bonus stars at the end, right? Final week of the 2026 Fantasy League. Maybe some bonus points for workhorse of the year who had the most matches or something like that. And even if they didn't necessarily get the win, just something small. It doesn't have to be like 100 points.
I don't hate that. I was even thinking. I mean, we already talked about the idea of any transfers you have left unused, you'd also get a bonus for.
Yeah.
I was also thinking about like 5-star matches outside AEW potentially, things like that. I mean, again, we'll talk about that come December. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the thing is that I've been looking at, and every time I look, it comes back around. The fact that Hangman Page was like a 5th round pick.
Yes,
how he got so far down the list. It wasn't like he was some hidden mid-carder. Maybe it wasn't apparent he was going to win the world title, but even so, for him to be picked after, as I mentioned, Claudio, Daniel Garcia, I had Swerve. Okay, Swerve's not too bad. Mariah May, who obviously up and left immediately. Darby, who didn't do anything for the first 9 months of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Hangman, what a very, very good pick by you. That was for your 5th round. As I said, so Joe took the week. Tony Storm, by the way, back at the top of the mountain as the number 1 total point getter after a few weeks off, with Hanger and Ospreay overtaking her. Hangman and Tony Storm will both have a match on Dynamite, by the way. So unless if Hangman wins and Tony doesn't, Hangman will go back top. Where are you on the Ospreay, Omega, Nick Wayne situation, given that I have those 3 highlighted in red currently?
Yes, yeah. I think I'll say right now, if Ospreay is off, let's just say for the rest of the year, I think I'm still not going to get rid of him, because I think it would be because he is just such a valuable point getter that I'm happy to not. I'm happy to keep him rather than
someone grabbing him.
Yeah, to not roll the, because if he comes back, he'll come back in some big spectacular match that'll get 100 stars and fucking, you know. Okay. So I think that's also easier for me to say as someone with the big lead. Now, am I resting on my laurels? Perhaps. Kenny,
well,
they brought him back.
It can be the thing that you can wait until someone gets within 75 points of you to make that decision, you know?
If the gap is closed and you get some more like solid reporting from a Meltzer or a Sap that like, okay, he is gone for the year, genuinely gone. They're looking at like Wembley next year for a comeback. At that point, I'll say, okay, maybe, yeah, fine. Okay, I'll pop him out. Kenny, I don't know what to fucking do with Kenny, because they just brought him back and then they wrote him off again. I don't know what to do there. I'm gonna hold it for now. Nick Wayne, I mean, he was a relatively recent get. There are some other mid carders I have my eye on, so I'm not making a move on him just yet. But I'm thinking I'm looking at a couple of options.
You're preparing.
None of them are really speaking to me, but I'm not. I mean, I thought I was being very clever because I felt like the tide was turning on him and they were going to get behind him, which I think they were. But then the injury is poorly timed, so maybe next week I'll make a decision on him, but not yet.
Right. And I still have one trade left. Joe's got 2, you got 4. I was looking at my team. I'm not necessarily planning to use that last trade right away. Maybe as we come into like C2 season. C2, as we know, historically has been a great point getter for the people who are involved. But I was looking at like Cope, who started the year very strongly and still hasn't broken 40 for me yet. I was like,
yeah.
Hook as well. I expected Hook to be a way bigger point getter this season than he's actually turned out to be. Hook only on 32. Fucking hell. Like, and for someone whose gimmick is they win all the time, he's got like 10 fewer points than Danny Garcia.
Yeah, and I see him, of course, probably getting some wins in the next couple of weeks. You know, because now he's on. Because he's got that comeback momentum. But I don't see that. Maintaining long term, I would say. No,
I'm very disappointed with Hook this year. Cope, okay, whatever. Cope and Hook are expected to be in the 60 range, 70 range by now, just based on how they've been doing last year. Really disappointing. But yeah.
Yeah,
I update
with Cope, with all the injuries and stuff. I feel like he's like full time wrestling I feel like that's probably done now. Leg exploding. I mean that cage spot, that's going to be one that'll be remembered for a while as one of wrestling's most questionable decisions. After like a miraculous came back second half of his career that he didn't think he'd have, and then he. Not only
TNT champion,
and then makes the decision to jump off a cage and land. Oh my god! Anyway,
Also, sorry, one more thing is that Mark Briscoe is the first wrestler to wrestle 30 matches this year. He's crossed the 30 threshold. What a man! What a worker!
What a man!
Also, Big Boom AJ is still top of the points per match table after one match, more than one match. Hanger at number 2. Lashley at 3. Oh, Lashley is one that I'm looking at as well.
That's the point getter. That doesn't work for my fantasy league, brother.
Lashley and Shelton were doing so good in the first half of this year. And I feel like Lashley hasn't had a match in about 3 months. I know they just had the one that paid for you there. But when's the last time Lashley got me any points? God, Joe's going to get me. Okay, that's the fantasy. We do have a quiz for you. Your favorite Wordl-ow.
Yes.
It's the nation's favorite quiz that takes no effort to prepare, which is my favorite type. So, Barry, you've got 6 guesses. Okay.
I've got my dog.
I've chosen already an active wrestler. So I've come prepared. So if you want to have a guess, I can tell you for their age, build height, build weight, first letter, and TV debut year, where you are in relativity to that.
Okay, so going by the logic, now Joe's always very good at these tactical moves, but the last couple of weeks, I know we're maybe going to try and go middle of the alphabet here and let the rest of it fall into place. this person debuted a little earlier than I would like to go with, but I think their letter, height, etc. is pretty good. Let me go with John Cena.
Okay, John Cena. John Felix Anthony Cena.
I was also about to call him John Felix Cena. That's funny.
J-Fac. Lover of Vince McMahon.
Good friend thereof.
Oh, I see why that. Oh, sorry. No, it says rapper. Sorry, I misread that.
Very good.
So John Cena is 48 years old. Note that down.
40.
We're looking for somebody younger than John.
I forgot he was that old. Shit. Okay. Obviously, they'd be younger.
48. Yeah, he's approaching the big 50. John Cena's build height is, per Wikipedia, 6'1". That is an exact match.
Exact. Excellent. Okay.
So you got 6'1" right out of the gate. So you know you're looking for a 6'1"
boy,
a John Cena sized man.
Okay.
Build weight, John Cena 251. We're looking for somebody lighter than that, please.
Lighter than 251.
Yeah. John Cena, first letter of his Wikipedia page is the big J. So we're looking for later in the alphabet.
Later, interesting.
And without needing to look it up, John Cena debuted on television in the year 2002. So we're looking for later as well.
Later, okay. So second half of the alphabet, a youngster who is 6'1" and lighter than 250 and debuted in the last 23 years. Okay. No, this person's not 6'1". Okay. Okay. Let me go. I'm thinking of like going on like age and size, and then I think the letter is wrong.
Right. Okay.
Annoying. Okay, what's next? K. Any K's come to mind? Let me go.
Yep.
No, actually, I shouldn't go. I'm not going to go one letter after J. That'd be silly. Okay, hang on. Let's go further along. Let's go S. Okay, this person is younger. They could be 6'1". They could be lighter. Yes. Okay. Let me go with one Swerve Strickland.
Okay, we're going for Swerve. Let's have a look here. Strickland. Okay. Stefan Strickland is 34 years old. So we are looking for somebody older. Older than Swerve, but not as old as John Cena. Okay. Swerve Strickland, build height 6'1". Very good. So you're the old
wrestler
already.
The old Tinder 6'1".
I got them lifts on, brother. Build weight, Swerve Strickland 230. Put on a bit of muscle, 230. We are looking for somebody who is lighter than Swerve Strickland, please. Okay. Swerve Strickland S. We're looking for later in the alphabet.
Okay.
And Swerve Strickland TV debut, I am going to count as that Lucha
16.
Underground.
Oh, well, Lucha Underground, of course, yes.
When did he debut? I mean, it has Wikipedia list says 2014. I don't know if that's the exact year he signed with them or actually appeared on TV, but 2014. Yeah. So we are looking for later than 2014.
Okay. Okay. An older person than 34 who debuted later than 2014 on television. Okay, so later than SQST. No, this person's heavier. I'm trying to think of those. Do we have any those? T-U. No, this person's not older than 34. Fuck, this is a tough one. Okay. This Wikipedia page is not going to be. No, actually, I'm not going to do that. No, because I was gonna go for someone W, but no, I don't want to, because I know their Wikipedia is not in that name anymore, so that'd be silly. Okay.
Would it be G?
Yes, it would be G now. So that would be a waste of a guess. Like a T. There must be some T's. Who do we got there in that main event? What about
it is a G, by the way. You would have been right.
Yeah, I do that. That would be silly. Fuck, this is hard. Okay. I know this person isn't going to be a match, but I want to get some more numbers on the board here. Give me Willow Nightingale.
Willow. We had Willow
a couple of weeks ago. Could have a nice W in there. I know she's not 34, but
is Willow 6'1"? That is a question.
She is definitely not 6'1", but at least we know 6'1".
Okay, Willow Danielle Palter is 31, so we know that's outside of our range. She is billed as 5'6", so we're looking for a taller person.
Yeah,
183. We're looking for heavier.
Okay, good.
Yeah. W is the first letter. We are looking for later in the alphabet.
Really?
And TV debut year 2021. So we are looking for earlier than that.
Earlier. Okay. So that was good. Okay. I feel like, so later than W. Okay. W X Y. Y. Utah? No, but he's not called Utah. W X Y and Z. Z. Oh, they're fucking X and Z. Zeuxis, Zack Ryder. No, he's not called that. I feel like there's a Y that people are probably screaming at the fucking their podcasting app of choice. Why? Yuka Sakazaki is not older than 35. She's also not 6'1".
I did check, by the way, Zack Ryder, and because I was curious, and it is Matt Cardona he's listed as, which I was surprised.
Yes, he's been Matt Cardona forever at this stage, I would say. No,
but I'm thinking Wikipedia most famous.
Yeah. But the wrestling
redirected from Zack Ryder is what you get. You saw his card only a few moments ago.
Oh, wait a minute. What about Xavier Woods? I don't think he's 6'1", but again, wrestlers, build height, Tinder height.
Did I guess?
Yes, that's my guess, yeah.
Xavier Woods. Let's keep it PG. Like a man, Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods. Austin Watson. We're using shoot names today, people. Austin Watson is 39 years old. We are looking for someone younger than that. What? His build height is 5'11".
Yeah, he's not.
He's probably using his shoot height here.
Yeah.
Build weight 205. So we're looking for heavier than 205.
Heavier than 205, okay.
Yeah. First letter X. We are looking for later in the alphabet. And TV debut year, 2007.
Oh, shit.
TNA.
Oh, TNA. Fuck. God. I was kind of hoping that one would...
Creed.
Yeah.
Bound for Glory, 2007. So obviously later than that, please.
Okay, so Y and Z. Okay. What? Younger than 39, older than 34. Chatted about him earlier. Let me go for Zach Gibson.
Zach Gibson. A favorite from our days in the TIV.
In the TIV, of course.
In the TIV. Oh, the good old days. I will tell you, by the way, that autograph card for Zach Gibson cost about €4.
Okay,
one of my favorites, but also one of the cheaper ones for the.
Yeah. One of these days it'll go up when he gets a push somewhere, you know.
Yeah. Zach Gibson, guess number 5. Zach Gibson is 35 years old. So we are looking for somebody older than Zach Gibson.
Fucking what the fuck?
6'3" as well. Big
wow. Oh, he's tall, like, yeah, he's a tall guy.
He's a big tall lad, so we are looking for shorter than that. Build weight 220. We are looking for lighter than that.
Jeez.
First name begins with the letter Z. That is a match. Okay. And TV debut year, I'm going to say NXT UK 2018. We are looking for earlier than 2018.
Earlier. Okay, so post 2014, pre 2018. Okay, God, this must be someone really obvious. A 6'1" wrestler who is older than 35 but younger than 39. So they're in their late 30s. They are heavier than 205 but lighter than 220. I've got these so narrow, these.
Yeah.
They begin with Z and they debuted earlier than 2018. This is such a specific person. Again, I'm sorry. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I know it's probably really fucking obvious. Okay. Z. Zach Gibson. I'm trying to think of like luchadors.
Currently active, as we know.
Currently active. I don't think Paul would go Zooksies. I don't think he'd go a CMLL woman on me. I just don't see that on the. Could happen. I also don't know if he's older than 35, but
6'1".
She is not 6'1". Yeah.
Bring that one back.
No. Okay. 6'1". Z. Okay. AEW roster.
This is your sixth guess, Barry. So this is your last.
Yeah.
guess.
This is it. So I'm thinking. Okay.
This is the furthest we've come to 6 since we started playing this.
I'm trying to think. Is there a WWE roster person beginning with Z again, which was obviously is always our blind spot. Obviously, the WWE people, but I can't. Is one of the Wyatt Six people called the Zoo Man?
The Z Man, Tom Zank.
Yeah. Oh, this is so hard. I actually can't even think of anyone, let alone someone who meets the criteria. Okay, I can think of one woman in WWE. Let me see here. No, both these women are tiny. The ones I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I'll say them because they're not my guesses. I was going to go Zelina Vega. Absolutely not 6'1". The most
not even be 5'1".
Yeah, the most not 6'1" person of all time. That would have been ridiculous. Okay. I suppose I could also be factoring in TNA into this as well. I had absolutely no fucking idea. 6'1", post 2014. Who's that other? No, it wouldn't be that other. There's wasn't there another Zach who was in AEW, but that guy was like a dark wrestler. He was in the QT Marshall group for like a week. I'm going to have to pass. I actually don't know. I can't even think of another Z. I don't want to embarrass myself. Yeah, I'm stumped. I'm going to have... It's going to be our first... Yeah, I need Joe. See, this is my first concede. This is the first concede since we've been doing this.
Okay.
Sorry, Joe, if you're listening to this.
No worries. Joe, I'm sure would have been screaming.
He's going to be texting us when he gets out, when he hears this. Oh, no.
Okay. Well, yeah, it wasn't a super obscure one, I'll tell you that.
No, I'm going to kick myself. This is going to be really annoying.
It's a gentleman,
is
the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
Oh, very silly, Barry.
In his record-tying second reign. He also makes sporadic appearances for AEW.
Yeah.
It's Zack Sabre Jr., of course.
Yeah, I got too bogged down in mainly AEW. Only towards the end I started to think WWE. But honestly, I should have broadened out. Wrestlers whose names begin with Z. He should be like and I got Zach. I even picked someone called Zach. Oh my god. Well, look, I need Joe.
Look, you win some, you lose some. 6'1", 211, debuted 2016 in New Japan, or 2017. Excuse me, 2016 in the WWE Cruiserweight. That's what I count.
Yes, yeah.
Japan. Z, of course, name starts with 6'1", as we said. There you go.
Okay, very good. Thank you as always, Paul, for that. That was
that was a fun one.
That was a fun one. Joe, I'm sorry if you hear this, I let you down, but we will. We'll get him next time. We will get his ass next time. But thank you very much for that one, Paul. We will. What's next? Will we segue into our reviews?
Dynamite? Yes,
Dynamite. Dynamite was once again from the residency in the 2300 arena. I thought it was a very good show again this week. Kicked off with, I mean, has anyone screamed, "I'm leaving the company I'm in currently as soon as possible" more than Gabe Kidd? This guy is just in AEW every week now. And they keep referring to this,
given how pro New Japan he was.
I think he's completely sincere in that, but it's just like he's just always on. Now, he's on the show as a lackey. They're not pushing him super hard, but I just think it's interesting. Like, he is like a mainstay of the show, and they always refer to him as a New Japan wrestler. Acknowledging their partner, but they've taken a lot of people from that partner, so he wouldn't be the first or the 10th wrestler they've nicked.
I'm sure being so pro New Japan and being like diehard New Japan is one thing, and you have all your principles, and you put your neck on the line and say, I'm only for this company, I'll die for this company, this is my company. And then the contract offer comes and you're like, ooh, hang on a second.
The contract comes and it's
not saying that's what's happened, obviously.
No, not at all. But it's leg into like the high paying American television landscape,
Yeah.
But we'll see anyway. So he comes out,
supplement that income with some of these appearances anyway.
Absolutely. And he comes out and he's kind of doing his cringy kind of Gabe Kidd fucking thing. He's being annoying. Darby Allin comes out. They have a big brawl. They had a fun little brawl around the building. Darby hit him with the skateboard covered in the tacks.
No, we hit Utah with the skateboard.
Oh, sorry, yeah, because they had a big schmoz with the Utah comes out, and Death Riders, and then the Ops and Willow come out, and so they're brawling all over the place, and then they go to the back, and Darby gets the chloroform out again, which is I guess his new thing is the chloroform.
Which I love when the commentators are like, "What is that mysterious mixture?"
Yes,
Darby's using. It's on a rag that you only ever see chloroform on, but I don't know what it is.
I feel like even back in the day, like when like Shane McMahon would use it on Big Show and stuff like that, commentators and wrestler always do that thing. It's like it's a rag he's putting over the guy's face. Like, can we just? I don't think it strains credulity that the announcers would just know instantly that it's chloroform. But alas, we'll stop nitpicking. We won't. I have another nitpick here. I don't even think this is a nitpick necessarily. We were the last 2 weeks. There's been a lot of Taz celebration, rightfully so. Hardcore legend in that building in particular. Darby's doing this violent like kidnapping angle, and Taz goes, body bag gimmick. No, not gimmick. He goes, body bag Jones here. I'm like, can we leave the Jones like for like one segment when like Darby Allin's like killing a man? Can we just leave Jones for like a little bit? Just a little bit. It's very funny. We all like Jones. Okay, we all like it.
We like Yam Bag. We like
Yam Bag, SpongeBob gimmick, of course, famously on this broadcast. We loved it. Okay, well, come on now. I think for a big serious angle. And a lot of people are down on the commentary in AEW lately. I'm kind of not, but there are more moments than I'd like on too regular a basis where I'm like, I'd kind of like.
We didn't touch on the commentary news of the week.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
Big Brian on the way in.
The Bry Dog going full time, which honestly, that kind of just feels like kind of part of the work to me, the work of him being done. I'm sure he genuinely wants to be on commentary because he's a wrestling nerd. He wants to be on the show and not on the show in an egotistical sense, but I think he wants to be part of the show, you know. But I them kind of saying, oh, this is Bryan Danielson's new full-time job. To me, that just kind of screams like at some point
wasn't the whole point to go spend time with his family?
Yeah,
I'm not judging him, but wasn't that the point?
I believe that was the point. I believe that's the point. But listen, you know what? Family's cool and all, right? But you know what else?
His daughter's probably grown up enough to the point now she's like, oh, you're fucking lame. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Back to wrestling.
Dad, God, honestly, just go be a wrestler. You know, I don't know how old his daughter is, but yeah, it's like, yeah, who knows? But
she's probably like 6 or something.
But yeah, she's just like, yeah. So he's going to be a commentator. That's interesting.
He was in Australia this week, by the way. I mean, this guy
doing what? Promoting AEW?
Doing promo for the AEW shows next year.
Well, there you go. He's the hardest working man in wrestling. They're going to be a commentator now.
He is. Doesn't stop.
But Darby dragged off Kid, and there you go. That was that.
Yeah.
We got Windsor versus Monet for the championship. I got to be honest, I'm over that. Because it's like, we did her song. She did it like 3 times coming down the very small ramp to this match. I'm like, ugh. It's just that modern wrestling thing of you have to have a thing you yell that the fans can yell.
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a thing like that. But what turns me off about it, because I think Alex Windsor's great.
Oh, I really like Alex Windsor.
I think we need more wrestlers like Alex Windsor. But it's the thing of like comedy undercutting the serious characters. Everyone has to be silly. Everyone has to be a comedy character to an extent. Yeah. Like, imagine Samoa Joe would come out and go, Joe!
yeah.
It's like that undercuts his badassery. So I would like Windsor to be a bit more of a serious character, a bit more of an ass-kicking character. And coming out and doing this silly, Windsor! That doesn't gel with me. Sometimes, you know, leave the silliness for the Harley Camerons. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. They've got enough characters like that, especially like in the ring, like Windsor is such like an ass kicker. You know, she's a hard nose. This is a really fun match. I thought this was a really fun match. Yeah. Competing with the fact that, again, like a lot of these matches, kind of like, no one's expecting her to win, like, you know, but still they got the crowd into it. And that's a nitpick.
I think we're overstating slightly. She's not really a comedy character. It's one little thing she does that's a little bit irksome.
But that's kind of the issue, is that she's not a comedy character, so I wish she just didn't do this stuff at all. Do you know what I mean? It's like, right. I don't mean, like you were kind of saying, like you have your Harley Cameron. Like, yeah, I think you should have your comedy characters who do your comedy. And I don't need everyone else doing a little bit of comedy. You know, I think it's like you can just go out there and be, you know, tough.
Is it the MCU-ification of the world? Like, everyone has to be witty and snarky, and, you know, you don't have any more Thor, who's just a fucking serious guy. Even he's a comedy character.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like, nothing's like a dedicated comedy anymore, because everything's like a little bit of a comedy all the time. But yeah.
Right.
This is a really good match.
I will say, conversely, the one thing that I do not want to go away, it didn't happen this week, but they played a clip of it, is Mercedes Monet's evil laugh.
Yes.
Which I'll pop every time.
I like that.
Big return here, Rio.
Yes, yeah. Which
first time we've seen her in a minute.
In ages, yeah. I was genuinely surprised by it. I like Rio a lot. You know, I always kind of wish they did more with her, because like she had that initial early run. She was the first champion, and then she's just kind of like never been around, because I guess she splits her time between the US and Japan. I don't know if she's had these issues or whatever, but good to have her back. Another bit of depth. Again, another nitpick for AEW's lack of kind of structure and rankings and stuff. They just like then instantly announced that she's getting a title shot at the pay-per-view, which I was like, I don't love that.
I mean, I would be forgiving if she came back and was immediately into like a contenders match. I could buy that.
Yeah.
Her against Windsor or her against whatever. I think that she'll match up size-wise quite well with Monet as well. Mercedes isn't huge either.
Because Mercedes is great at being the bully, but she's obviously she doesn't tower over many people, but she'll tower over Riho. So I actually think this, cynicism about the rankings. Notwithstanding, I'm very much looking forward to this because I think Riho always delivers on the big matches.
Killer looking stomp as well.
Yes. Oh yeah, and the drop kick as well out of the ring was really, really great stuff.
I love it.
So yeah, that match was made. It's just as well on the same pay-per-view where the main women's title is just like in a random four-way. It's just like a four-way with four people in it.
Yes, I mean, there's not a lot of direction, and that's the problem when Toni Storm beats everyone and continues to beat everyone. I'm not complaining from a fancy points point of view, but from from a creativity point of view, where do you go? Like, what's the feud? We finally got. Let me just check my watch here. A good 4 months too late. Hook finally went to Joe and Hobbs. What's that all about, lads?
Yeah.
Wasn't I in your group? We never mentioned it again. What's going on?
Yeah, they had an awkward exchange.
They kind of hand waved it away with some awkward nonsense.
Are we going Hook heel here?
I was surprised he didn't just come back as a heel. Honestly,
yeah. Whatever they were doing with Hook pre-injury, it just wasn't working. I think he was completely out of steam. I would try something new. I tell you what, I would try something new, which is I would start again on that music, boys. I don't know what happened there, but I would try
I was
again.
Giving it a chance, and I don't know.
Does it match his aura at all?
No, and I mean the chairman's intent was like the perfect theme song for him. So I don't know whatever with the licensing or that he was like AEW's weird.
Yeah,
I don't know why they stopped using it, but that was even do like a fucking if you don't get on with Action Bronson, do a fucking sneaky cover or some shit and get around it that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's a bit light on like character and a bit too laid back as a theme song. I think not that the Hook character is not laid back, but it doesn't get you all amped up for Hook to come out and kill somebody.
No.
You know what I mean?
So we had Mark Briscoe defeating Lance Archer. They had a segment where he was calling out Kyle Fletcher. Callis came out and was like, "Oh, you want to be a shot at my guy, but you gotta, earn it." Like, the classic, the Callis stuff,
Yeah.
So you knew he'd beat Archer. It was good stuff, good fun, as you'd expect a match between these two to be. Not on your top tier of your Briscoe matches, but really, solid stuff.
He was given a more severe opponent for a Collision, Takeshita. Baby.
We got a Tony pre-tape where she just kind of did like a Tony character thing, basically.
The Tony thing, yeah,
and asked for challengers. Renee was backstage with Harley and Statlander. Yuta came up again and just did more of that. They just did more.
Yeah, that thing that they've been doing for months. Cameron going, we're the hottest tag team at AEW. We're undefeated, and we want Brodito was a pop here.
Yeah, that was a cute line. The other thing is about how long this Yuta Willow Stat thing has been going on. I feel like Stat's had like 3 different gimmicks in the time they've been doing this, because she's been like a heel, a face, and then she's been doing this Harley Cameron thing all over the course of Yuta coming up to going, I don't know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, what do you think?
What are you thinking? So
she was throwing confetti for 2 weeks. Remember that?
Yes. Yeah. What was that? Oh my god. That was I forgot about that. The aforementioned Brodito did defeat Claudio and Wheeler Utah. Good match again.
Very good. Very good.
Good. Oh, sorry, I skipped a segment, by the way. Ricochet basically, they threw down a challenge for Hurt Syndicate at the Pape, the upcoming Pape.
Yeah, I think I might have said already. I'm not loving Ricochet with the GOA.
Really? Okay.
No, I feel like Ricochet has kind of gone backwards with that one.
I kind of agree, but I think we might have said this last week, but I also feel like he was, as far as like the singles division go, I feel like he was kind of butting his head up about as high as he could go as it was. So like I think he is sliding down a little bit, but I do think that's just like a log jam at the top of the card, you know. But you know, I would take a program with him in the hangar. I mean, rather than them dragging out this fucking MJF thing, which I'm over. But so yeah, Brodito retained over the Death Riders, which was good stuff. Darby Allin came in to like stop the cheating.
Attacked Mox.
Attacked Mox. There you go. Okada called Takeshita a bitch, so they're going straight, which I kind of like because it was so explicit. They weren't really teasing dissension, were they? So much as they were just obviously not getting on. So I kind of like that Okada's just outright just calling out Takeshita, which I mean, ooh, baby, give me that match. I don't care what hedged bets you might have about Okada. Fair enough. You don't think he's on the level he used to be. Fair enough. But I still think he's really good. And Takeshita, I mean, look, he's got a case for being best in the world. Hurt Syndicate accepted the challenge with the qualifier that MVP will also be. So I guess it's going to be a 6-man at the Pape. So there we go.
There you go.
I mean, MVP was like perfectly fine the last time he did one of these, and like I don't mean that as an insult or a compliment. I mean it is exactly what it was. I don't know if I'd be like, oh well, he's our special attraction guy. We'll put him out a couple of times a year on pay-per-view. It's like, it's, you know, he can still go at a perfectly acceptable level, but like it's not like, oh, can Ricochet get his hands on MVP? I'm not itching for that.
I think the issue is for me that the abrupt dropping of the MJF storyline has not really hurt MJF, but has badly hurt the Hurt Syndicate, ironically.
Yeah.
They seem 10 times less important and less interesting since that whole storyline concluded. They're just floating around.
We were going to get a Cope and Christian segment. Cope was making his entrance. FTR jumped him. Christian came out a couple of seconds later. Because again, they're kind of doing this thing where they're working together, but they're not coming out they're not yet being buddy coming out doing Edge and Christian. Do you know what I mean? So Cope is on his own, FTR get the drop, and then Christian's like hanging back. But he comes out and they're brawling, and Dax, I think, gets busted open hard way. He had a little bit of blood there. This is your classic locker room empties, pulls them apart. Crowd liked it. I don't quite know why but they specified that it was the Ring of Honor locker room. Because it's like, I will say, Tony, I can tell. Yeah, I don't know who any of them are, so I know it's not the AEW.
Who are these people, and why are they wearing wrestling gear?
Yeah, so they were doing a pull apart, and then in the middle of it, Harwood gave Jordan Oliver a spike pile driver, and then after that, Adam Priest, who's like a well regarded indie wrestler, who I actually haven't seen in ROH, but he's a very well regarded guy, kind of like. Got involved with FTR, started throwing punches, and the commentators drew attention to him specifically doing that, so you knew it was like, okay, they're going to give this guy a match.
He had a match with FTR on Collision last week.
Okay, so I missed that.
With JD Drake. But he had a match with Collision this week with FTR as well.
So they then got a promo backstage saying, Priest, get yourself a partner, which was Dynamite Jr., I believe, wasn't it, on Collision?
Correct.
So there you go. That was a good segment. It was solid stuff. And then we had your weekly 8-man madness. On this show, you had Kyle Fletcher, Josh Alexander, and the Young Bucks defeating Hangman, Kenny, and Jet Speed in an all-action match. This wasn't the best one of these, but it was good. Key segment, of course, was that you had Omega and Hanger teaming up together, fighting off the Bucks, doing a little Revolution 2020 callback stuff, which is all very nice. Fletcher pinned Knight at the end of this, and then the big key angle was that they kept beating on Omega after the match. He was overwhelmed by the numbers. They set a table on the floor, and Fletcher hit him with a brain buster through the table, which was like a cool spot, but like they were then like selling like Kenny was dead, like a brain buster off the ring through the table. It's a nasty spot. It was like the last time he did an injury angle, like Okada like elbow dropped his guts out of his side, and this was kind of just like a move through a table that you see all the time,
Right. I mean, that's the problem with the all-action AEW style, is that when you then do something like this, you go, well, I saw that on Collision last week.
Yeah, and even though I think the show's been really good lately, including this one, as you kind of alluded to earlier there with the MJF stuff, we're kind of lacking focus a little bit. People are kind of floating around. Kenny coming back to then be written off again, and this time the write-off wasn't really special or convincing at all. You know, we're still a little bit fuzzy, I think, on some of the finer details. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I would have brought Kenny back for 2 weeks to then do a write-off in this style. You know, I would have. I probably would have kept him gone a little bit longer, but I also feel like they're between a rock and a hard place where maybe they weren't going to bring him back this fast, but they're like, everyone's gone. Kenny, are you around, brother? Can you come to the ECW arena? Yeah, good Dynamite. Would you enjoy it?
Of course. Except that all I could think about was the leak in my apartment. But otherwise,
I mean that's fair. That's fair. Did you see College? I did not see College.
I watched it live. How about that?
Oh, okay.
There was some stuff that was very good. Stuff on this show that I want to stay up and watch, which is...
The card was fantastic, I will say.
I mean, we talk about the pay-per-view and the fact that we can watch it at an early time. But if you present a show like this one that's got a good card, I want to stay up and watch it, especially if it's live, not a pre-tape. Mox against Danny Garcia. Very interesting, because Moxley had just beaten Garcia on Collision or Dynamite the week before and whispered something into his ear. So I was wondering, is this going to be one of those cases where Garcia gets brought into the Death Riders? You know, kind of similar thing with the Danielson-Moxley original storyline. You know, you got to bleed with someone before you can team with them or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
Very good match. I mean, Garcia came very close, or at least they presented some very believable false finishes here. Moxie did eventually win with a reversal of a roll-up for the pin. Garcia post-match got on the mic from Shivani and said, he didn't quite go into what was that one that we were really critical of? Oh, gee, shucks, man, I'm just so shit and I just lose all the time. That jet speed one, wasn't it? No, it was Top Flight. It was Top Flight.
Top Flight, yeah, we're such gigantic losers, yeah.
So Garcia did something not quite into that realm, but on those, in that ballpark. And he said, it's been a good 5 years. Sometimes good just ain't enough. So I wonder if we will see him kind of give up his morals for a place in the Death Riders, and maybe he'll start to pick up some wins. But I don't know. Every time I see Garcia, and he reaches this kind of point where he's wrestling Moxie on Dynamite, I'm like, I remember where we were like 2 years ago, where he was like beating Danielson with the fucking sharpshooter, and like, what is it about Garcia that he just can't? Kind of like Ricky Starks, just can't get to that next level. So I think he's a good promo. I think I've spoken about that. He's like a modern feeling character and wrestler. I don't know what it is. He just hopefully a little change, get him in with the Death Riders, and that'll maybe be enough to get him over.
Yeah, I feel like it's with Starks as well. I feel like it's a little bit on the kind of booking for not being able to strike while the iron is hot.
Right. Yeah. Big Bill talks about. Actually, this was the same building that he had his seizure in.
Oh, yes, yeah.
At the House of Hardcore show. He says he comes from a real city in New York. Someone else around here does, so he's officially calling out Eddie Kingston. So let's see what comes of that. We talked about that already, of course.
Yeah.
FTR, Tommy Billington, and Adam Priest finished with the Power Plex, which I've never seen before. Not since the days of Power and Glory. They didn't even have to pick him up and hit him with the Shatter Machine or the Stuffed Pile Driver. Just Superplex Splash. That'll do the job. It was fine, but there was, Billington and Priest were never going to win here, and indeed they didn't. The Outrunners vignette, they were out in the Predator forest with camo face paint on. And they ran into the Predator, except it wasn't the Predator, it was Dalton Castle, who's back. So they're going to be a little trio, it looks like. Outrunners and Castle. They're funny together, yeah. Moxley promo against Darby Allin. He says he's ready to get rid of Darby Allin for good. and at All Out, he's going to put him in the ground, which is a phrase that I always love for seriousness of, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to put you in the ground. I was actually thinking after he said this of the Father Ted clip where the one priest is like, I think you're a very rude man. Yeah. And Brendan Gray says to him, if you say that to me again, I'll put your head through the wall.
Yeah.
I just love these really over the top kind of threats of violence like that. They did announce later on the show, by the way, Alan and Moxie for All Out in a coffin match.
Yes.
Which whenever I hear a coffin match, my WWE part of my brain always recoils and like, oh, coffin match. Whereas AEW coffin matches have always been good.
They've been great. So yeah.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay.
And these two will kill each other. These two will kill each other.
Oh, God. I mean, I shudder to think what the next thing these two are going to do to each other is. Fucking Mox will just like carve his stomach open, pull out one of his intestines or something. Mental people. How is Renee married to this fella? I have no idea. By the way, I love whenever you see like a picture or a little clip from Renee's Instagram of like Moxie with the little daughter. He's like doing her braids. What a man. It's like the husband who's just got the really weird interest. He's like, what's your hobby? Oh, I collect autographs. What do you do? I stick a fork in a lad's ear or whatever. Triangle of Madness, Megan Bain against Toni Storm, Mina Shirakawa, Statlander, and Harley Cameron. The baby faces won this one. It was just a bit of a crazy in out kind of 8 women match. Statlander got the win with a seatbelt pin on Julia Hart. After which there was a big schmoz, and as you referenced earlier, Toni Storm challenged Hayter, Tekla, and Statlander to a 4-way at All Out. Kind of out of nowhere. I mean, Hayter had just appeared to run in. She wasn't even in the match here.
Yeah. Like,
she hasn't had a match since he returned either.
Yeah, because she's only freshly back. My immediate reaction was, why not just do Tekla? She's the actual person you're pushing. My assumption would be that like they just don't want to beat Tekla yet because she's they got a little something with her there,
Yeah. Bang Bang Gang are retiring the cardboard cutouts. It sounds like. It's time to see what's next. And what the feeling I got from this is because they just played a video of Ace Austin. I think they're going to get Ace Austin into the gang. And I think it'll be...
I think that's a good fit.
Austin Gunn, Juice Robinson, and Ace Austin. So let's see. They announced for Dynamite through a Mercedes Moné promo. Mercedes Moné and Rio's mentor, Emi Sakura, against Rio and Alex Windsor. So tag team match in Dynamite.
That'd be fun.
Don Callis family came out. Fletcher essentially challenged Hanger to a world title match at the pay-per-view. So it looks like that's what's going to be happening, given that Mark Briscoe did then not win his match to get a TNT title match. So it looks like we'll be getting Fletcher, Hangman at the pay-per-view, which also plays into the fact that he do a brainbuster on a chair on Hangman.
Yes.
On Dynamite as well. We didn't mention that. We have another vignette for the evil hologram coming.
Yes, yeah.
That. Paragon and Conglomeration were doing more of their silliness in the back. Ishii's going back to Japan, apparently.
Aww.
Bowens was bragging about all the press he's been doing, and Jerry Lynn was like, well, I think you're slipping, boy. And that was it. Nothing happened. And then Mark Briscoe, Takeshi, the main event, was, as you may expect, a banger.
Hell yes.
Oh, baby. It was tremendous. What happened kind of out of nowhere at the end, because we didn't also mention the news, but MJF got married.
Oh, yes.
On Friday. To Alicia Atout. And all the wedding pictures are very funny. All the people who you would not expect to be there were there.
Yes, very funny for multiple reasons. Because she looked beautiful dress, very, very pretty lady. And then he's just like such a pro wrestler wearing this white suit. Like it's such a pro wrestler outfit he's wearing. It's such a fucking pro wrestler outfit. But he kind of rocked it, to be fair.
Hanger was there, Taz and Hook, and a lot of funny pictures. But MJF appeared and cost Briscoe the match. So obviously we'll get MJF Briscoe at the pape as well, I would imagine. And Takeshita won at the Raging Fire. So yeah, as we say, it looks like it'll be Briscoe MJF at All Out. MJF said that Briscoe could pick the stipulation. So Briscoe did pick All Out, but did not mention the stipulation. I'm going to throw a prediction out here. I haven't read anywhere online, but I'm going to throw out my prediction. Let's get the old dog collar back. Both of these men with dog collar history.
Yeah.
So why not? Why not get that one out of storage?
That's a great shout. That is a great shout.
Let's see. So that was your collision. It was a very, very fun show.
Another good week of TV. How many more weeks of this residency do they have?
This week coming is the last week, I believe.
Last one. Okay. I think that's a good run for these type of things. I don't think they need to stay that long. I think three weeks with 2 episodes of TV and also a Ring of Honor show. I think that's good. I think that's good. Yeah. Let us jump into our non-wrestling reviews here. Got a couple of movies. Nothing I want to talk too long about, but some interesting movies. I watched Stands, which is a documentary that kind of purports to be a window into the world of super fandom, told kind of via the means of the career of Eminem as the person who kind of inadvertently created the term Stands with his, one of his best songs ever, Stan. And so this documentary has a bunch of talking heads with absolutely gigantic Eminem fans. Some of whom are very endearing, some of whom are not very endearing, I will say. What is fascinating about it to me is that there's some of them who are like hardcore fans from like basically his first album, right? So you're talking about like, they got a little graphic where it's like, oh, a fan since such and such a time, 1999, 2000. But then there are some who are like stands from like 2013. There are people who like, they became fans when like Music to Be Murdered By came out, or like, which is so
exist. Those people exist.
Yeah, they do. It's so because he's still one of the biggest musical acts in the world. So there's interviews with them, and some of them are odd, a lot of them are endearing, and it's kind of peppering. Eminem is in it; he produces it as well. So it's, although I don't want to call it a puff piece, but it's a little bit. This current trend the last like 5-10 years, like the documentary where the person's like involved and they're producing it, and so punches are a bit pulled. Not that this would be a scandalous documentary anyway, but I will say the final act of this basically acts like he's as good as he's ever been, and Relapse was a bit of a wonky album. People didn't really like that, but then Recovery was awesome, and then everything after that was great. And one person literally says that stuff he was doing with all the accents he does in his new music, that's great. Someone literally says that.
As someone who's listened to all those albums, I can tell you it's
definitely not true. And there's even a person, they even like, remember that last album came out and he was doing this incredibly like try hard, like cancel me thing, so that I can act like I'm being cancelled and then act like I don't give a frick about being cancelled, frankly. They have a bunch of people just completely earnestly talking about that. It feels like so. And by the way, this artist who most people agree had 2 good albums 20 years ago actually still releases classics all the time and is very relevant and great, and people, So it's like interesting for like about an hour, and the tail end of it kind of gets a bit sycophantic. And then also the other problem with it as well is, at a certain point, it feels like it stops being about like the fans with little Eminem biopic stuff peppered in. And the second half, it just kind of feels like it's just a biopic with the fans kind of peppered in. They feel like they kind of lose the run of what they were doing about halfway through. And then they're just talking about, okay, and then he had Proof passed away, and he had a breakdown, and he was exhausted, and addiction and rehab and recovery. And at a certain point, it's just like, okay, it's like a 40-minute chunk of this film where you're just kind of doing an Eminem, just kind of just like a normal biopic where some of the talking heads are a bit kooky. It's not, I thought the premise was really interesting. I thought the execution was not great, unfortunately, and I would say if anyone was intrigued by it, I would probably not really bother. I feel like you might see the most noteworthy clips of the fans acting kind of odd on YouTube in a few years. You know what I mean? But it was all right. It was like less than 90 minutes. It was watchable, but I would not recommend it. Speaking of not recommending, Nobody 2 made a very quick transition over to streaming. It does not seem like it replicated the kind of overnight success of the first one. Did you see the first one?
I did not.
First one was okay. I think you see the premise, and it's like, Bob Odenkirk playing an everyday middle-aged dad, but also he's like secretly John Wayne.
Crank.
but it kind of, it's a post-Wick. It's got one of the Wick people involved in like a producer role or whatever. It's, it's a post-Wick action movie. It's got very frantic, fun action sequences. I kind of felt like the first movie, it didn't quite live up to how fun that premise sounds, like Odenkirk in that kind of role. It's good, but I didn't. I kind of, when I saw the trailer for it and you see the premise, I'm like, this is going to be my new favorite movie. And it was good. I've never rewatched it. Do you know what I mean? I've never gone back to it. This second one is actively bad, unfortunately, which is really disappointing. It feels, I'm just talking about purely how it feels. I don't know, but it just feels really studio noted to death. There's a licensed song every 30 seconds. It feels like, especially in the first half, they are just constantly playing, like licensed songs. It's got a bunch of really bad comedy. Like the comedy, I think, is the main, because this is an action comedy. It is as much a comedy as it is an action movie. And none of the comedy really lands at all, with the exception of some Odenkirk. He's a great comedic actor, so some of his delivery is really fun, but the writing is very very, very drab, modern, generic faux Marvel kind of quippy stuff that doesn't land at all. Sharon Stone, God bless her, great actress, turns in one of the most annoying performances as one of the most annoying characters of all time in this movie. I'm actually really confident. She's the main antagonist. Wow. And so she's like, she's a mob boss, big Don, right? Who nobody runs afoul of. But she's like kooky. She's like a little bit twisted. She's like the freaking Joker or something over here. She's like Lady Joker. I mean, she is literally like doing sick murder and then doing a crazy dance because she's so crazy with a K and multiple A's. It is. Nobody went to see this film, which is why it's on streaming so fast. I feel like if more people saw it, they'd be like, "Oh my god!" Now, to be fair to Stone, I think I said there she turned in a bad performance. That's actually harsh. That's not what I meant. The character is really good. She's giving it socks. She's doing whatever, she's got this very stupid hammy material and she's giving it her all, but it's an insanely annoying one-dimensional character, and every time she's on screen, it's very irritating. They got Christopher Lloyd as Odenkirk's dad, which again is like more, it's not as fun as that sounds. Do you know what I mean? It's like not as good as that. Some of the action is good. It's directed by Timothée Hanto, who's done, a million great things. The Night Comes for Us and The Shadow Strays, which was that was last year, which I really liked. Night
Comes for Us is good.
A really reliable action director, and the action stuff is good in this. But again, I would say it is as much a comedy as it is an action movie. So you're not getting wall to wall The Night Comes for Us action. So a very disappointing movie. And conversely, then the flip side of that, a movie I'd never really heard of until I saw it on Rotten Tomatoes. I saw Found Footage, The Making of the Patterson Project is the full title of it. This is a little indie film. This is a mockumentary comedy horror. It is about, again, it's a mockumentary following these like low budget indie filmmakers who want to make a found footage horror movie, aping the famous Patterson footage, the infamous Bigfoot, quote unquote footage. And so the first half of the movie is very very office-y. It's very kind of like just your kind of standard kind of amusing fly on the wall. These people are kind of not annoyingly over the top dumb, but they're just kind of people out of their depth making silly decisions. And it's a found footage, and it's a mockumentary about them. There's an amusing bit early on where basically the person financing the film is like just some guy who runs like, I think he runs like a shop in town or something, and he's financing half of it. And then they're basically grifting a doddering old deer out of the other half of the budget. And somewhere along the way, she gets the idea that her favorite actor, Alan Rickman, will be in the film. And the financier says that he will be, despite the fact that, this film came out this year and is set this year. So in the logic of the film, it is acknowledged that he is dead. So in the midst of casting people for the film, they then have a whole sequence where they're casting someone to be Alan Rickman, then playing a character in the film, which is very amusing. It's that kind of like, it's a very kind of a silly, again, it is Office-like in tone, perhaps maybe more American Office-like, if you want a mockumentary comparison. And then the second half of the film, it's kind of like, and what if then these people making an indie film, about an indie horror film, what if something actually did go wrong? I wouldn't really say much more beyond that, because it is very kind of twisty, and you don't want to say, I don't think it's nearly as good a horror movie as it is a comedy. I think the first half I actually got to say the biggest problem I had is I think it peaked in like the first third. Like I said, you're meeting the characters, you're meeting the kind of schlubby guy who's paying the bills, and he's doing a kind of a Brenty kind of like, oh, I'm financing, but I'm like a producer, so I'm like a creative financer. He's obviously just some rich asshole they've buddied up with who thinks he's involved in the movie, and the casting scenes are very funny, and the director, the main character, is a pretentious kind of douchebag who thinks he's making fine art. All that stuff is really good, and then when it kind of turns into a horror movie, it's not like bad or anything, but it's not especially kind of clever or interesting or scary necessarily. But it's very fun. It's a nice, ambitious movie. I had not seen anything this a director had made. I think this might actually be his first like feature length film. But good fun and what are we talking about? I think it was like 90 minutes as well. I think this is a fairly tight watch. So good fun. That's found footage. The Making of the Patterson Project was the name of that one. I think you would enjoy it. But it's not essential, but it's a solid watch. And that's what I saw this week. What did you see?
Okay, new release, 2025 movies actually, I think. So let me grab my little book on my bookshelf here. Richard Osman.
Oh, the book and the movie. Okay.
The Thursday I've had this book since I went on vacation 5 years ago, whenever it came out. Thursday Murder Club, very funny, very well written. Osman has a good little voice to him.
I've heard good things about the book for sure.
Yeah, when a peaceful retirement village, 4 unlikely friends meet up once a week to investigate unsolved murders. But when a brutal killing takes place on their very doorstep, they find themselves in the middle of their first live case. They might be pushing 80, but they still have a few tricks up their sleeves. Can our unorthodox but brilliant gang catch the killer before it's too late? It was a fun little book. And the movie launched this week, dropped, as the kids say, on Netflix. Mm-hmm. So I like the book. I like Richard Osman's various game shows, quiz shows. I like Pointless. I like Richard Osman's House of Games.
Yeah.
I said, I got to check the film out. I got to check it out. Also, what piqued my interest as well, directed by Chris Columbus.
Yes, of course.
Home Alone, Harry Potter fame. Also, it's produced by Amblin, the Steven Spielberg company.
The right names are popping up, I
think there might be some a good cast. Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, David Tennant, Ben Kingsley, Richard E. Grant. Yeah, some names here. So I stuck the movie on. It was actually the first movie I watched since I moved in here. Ooh, baby. What a big old pile of shit it was.
Yeah, I've kind of heard that.
Absolutely dreadful. So it's like, it's the most wafery thin little nothing of a film. It's like, the thing I like in the two is like, if you say you were sick off work tomorrow and in the middle of the afternoon you stuck on ITV or like UK Gold, and one of those like Father Patrick Moriarty investigates, you know what I mean? One of those shows was on. Indistinguishable. Looks like those shows, has the tone of those shows. Now, I will preface this by saying I don't give a fuck if a movie is not like the book.
No, okay? Yeah.
A movie is its own thing. I'm not going to say, well, in the book, though, the character was... I don't care. The book is the book, the film is the film. I don't need them to be exactly identical. I already read the fucking book. I don't need to have exactly the same experience again. But I did feel like watching the movie, like half of the people in it were miscast based on the performances they gave alone. Like Pierce Brosnan to play like a rough East End trade unionist. I'm not sure he's the right kind of person you want to put in that role. Maybe more like a Ray Winston type would have suited better. Brosnan is also doing this like half Irish, half English accent that kind of comes and goes as well throughout. Helen Mirren just like on autopilot the whole time, snoozes her way through it.
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley as well. You can tell in his performance he just is not trying and does not care. So it's like one of those movies, and also it's like for a whodunit, which to me is like one of the easiest movie types to kind of do. No tension, like tension free. There's no big dramatic twists or flourishes. They just kind of fart out an explanation at the end. Oh, that's what it was. Oh, okay. Even the revelation isn't played up as a big moment. Just the most like anodyne, boring, not even middle of the road. God, like I wish it was middle of the road. Like really, really flat, horrible looking, like overly bright and overly flat looking. Like, again, a lot of kind of what you used to call direct TV movies have the kind of look to them, that sheen to them. This has it in spades. So yeah, really bad. Avoid. Much better was Companion, which I finally got around to checking out.
Great one.
Jack Quaid, Sophie Thatcher. Very much liked it. I felt like it was a hair from ever getting to great.
Yes.
Which I felt like it was on the precipice of throughout. I was like, right, I'm ready for that just one little thing, one little twist that kind of pushes this up, or that one moment that pushes this up. And I felt like that never truly came. But the experience throughout watching it was a ton of fun. The little twists to, like, she can modulate her voice to, modulate the pitch or the accent or the language, and how that played into some of the like chase scenes later on. Stuff like that was very, very clever. Like the performances of both of the leads. There was one character in it who looked so much like Donny Osmond, I couldn't think of anything else when he was on screen. I was like, that's Donny Osmond. He sings the Moonland song. But here he is in a movie. He's much older than he looks here. Did they do some time travel or something? The guy in this who plays the one of the other couple, my God, he looks so much like Donny Osmond. It's unbelievable. But I thought he was very good as well. I thought all the performances were pretty nailed on. It's just that intangible thing that when you see a really good movie that you kind of hang your hat on, like I say, a moment or a twist or a particular visual thing. I thought it was all really good, but again, it just didn't get across the line to me to being like truly great or truly like to be like one of those movies that you marvel at the creativity of it. I think it just needed that one little extra level or one little extra twist. Yeah. To have me like totally floored, but I thought it was very good, very entertaining. Didn't overstay its welcome either. What was it, like hour 37? I think it kind of got the juice out of its concept in that time, and I didn't overstay its welcome. I thought it was very good, man.
Yeah, I really liked it. Just missing couldn't quite put your finger on it. Just missing a little something.
A little something. I don't know what it was, but
yeah, but it was good fun. And always enjoyed it.
Might be something you get more out of on a rewatch potentially.
I like Sophie Thatcher a lot. I've loved her in everything I've seen her in so far.
Very good.
Tangential to the Thursday Murder Club. What do you make of? You looking forward to Knives Out 3? I can't remember how you feel on 2.
I am. I did like 2. I was probably higher on 2 than most, but I agree that it was a big step down from the first one.
Yeah.
I love Knives Out. What was it called? Glass Onion. I think Glass Onion liked the smell of its own farts a little too much.
Yeah. You're always rolling the dice with Rian Johnson. I generally like his stuff a lot, but that one was a little bit all right. I wonder who made this. They put out that post this week. I wasn't aware of the cast. It's a great cast. I mean, it's
very good.
It's a top-notch collection. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
Wake Up Dead Man, isn't it? I will say, for people who haven't checked it out yet, Johnson also did another noir called Brick. One of his earlier films that's really tremendous that people should check out, with Gordon Levitt in the lead. It's really, really good.
I love my brick.
I love my brick.
Yeah, so that is movies for the week. Telly Guff. I will say, just before we started this podcast, I finally got around to watching. I watched one episode of Peacemaker on television. The John
of the first season or the new season
of the first season. I've never watched any of it.
Okay.
Fun. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be an easy enough watch. It doesn't, it's Gunn written and directed and executive produced. He's very hands on with it. And it's fun. I will say that, like, as Cena's fortunes, they don't seem to be faltering. It kind of seems like his jets are cooling a little bit. I think I think a role like this really suits him better because it's inherently kind of absurd, and even within the comic book, it feels like he's a character, like a place at a time or whatever. Yeah. I think he works quite well in it. It's fun. That first episode was fun. I'm looking forward to getting through it and watching the new season. It's kind of in this weird place canonically because Gunn was like, season 2 is canon to this new era, and the first season he was kind of cagey about because I guess I guess they were still in the old era when they made that first season. But good fun.
I mean, speaking of, just quickly before we move on,
go on.
Cena is the one remaining huge muscly wrestler in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because both Rock and Batista, Rock, who got very good reviews from Smashing Machine this week, but he like Batista, and I'm hoping it's this and not some illness or something, but he like Batista looks to have massively slimmed down, which great for them. But yeah, Rock also in the news. Cena, Peacemaker season 2, and Rock, maybe he'll look at them and say, well, maybe if I only get these roles, maybe I need to slim down a little bit as well.
Well, I think so as well, because I think it's kind of like he's been doing these very interesting interviews now that the movie's out and getting acclaimed, where he's like, can I be honest with you? I actually don't like box office hits. Can I just shock you? Like, he is pivoting a little bit, and I also think a man of a certain age, maybe he's like, you know what, I don't need to be bursting at the seams in my 50s. It's just not,
Actually, you know what, lads, you know what? Fucking put the ending to Rampage back how it was. So, it's fine. And like, because obviously he looks quite large in this movie. But this, I think the whole reason, I think he very much, I think he wants an award. I think he wants not a Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award. I think he wants like a credible award, and I think he very much, for all the fucking tweeting out the audience scores and don't put in the paper that I'm mad about these reviews. I think we've known for years that I think he does crave he wants to be in good movies. He likes the he likes the money. Don't get me wrong, folks. He likes the money, but I think he genuinely, I think he wants to be in movies that people look at and go, these are like great actual films, For someone who posts pictures of himself in a New Japan shirt with a Rubik's Cube, I'm sure he sees these endless articles about Dave Bautista is the true best actor, wrestler turned actor. So I'd say if The Rock can beat him to an Oscar or even a Golden Globe or whatever,
oh yeah,
I'm sure he'll take that and say, well, I've got this. What does Dave Bautista have? I mean, you and I will know that Dave Bautista is still actually the correct answer. But
I'm looking forward to seeing the Smashing Machine, I will say.
If the Rock gets such an award before Batista, I mean, that does change the conversation somewhat. I mean, although it is funny, like you say, The Rock, after 20 years of making these fucking Skyscraper and San Andreas, brainless fucking blockbuster movies, it is funny for him now, and actually that he did try this early in his career. You're talking about your Southland tales of the world, He
didn't want to be The Rock. He didn't want to be the action guy, No.
So let's see.
So yeah, we will see how that goes. On the telly front, other than Peacemaker, this week South Park bounced back a little bit.
I only watched the Integrity one. I didn't realize there was another one already out.
What did you? So they do this weird schedule because like 1, 2, and 3 were all staggered by 2 weeks for unspecified.
I didn't realize, I didn't know there was one this week.
Yeah. What did you make Integrity?
Big old pile of shite.
Yeah.
One thing that's always going to laugh for me though is JD Vance coming in with a little fat face.
Yeah, boss. Yeah, that's Hey, boss. I just anyone, because this show is still very popular with like young audience. Does anyone know what that reference is other than people who are 35 and over? Obviously, that's such a stupid reference, but it is good. This week's episode bounced back. You had your back on the kids, as we were saying last week. Get out of here, fucking Randy. Hope your farm burns down. Back on the kids. This week was a Labubu episode. Labubu / tariffs. So it was funny. I think the direction they went on the Labubu stuff was amusing. You know, it was just some kind of classic South Park fare. And then the Trump stuff this week was, I mean, it was again, it was kind of more little cock, but they did have a little bit of a spin on it. It was about like, I mean, the crux of it basically is the first scene that Trump is in is like he's like at a press conference and the camera pans and it's all Fox News. And they hammer the joke home. I think there's a line along the lines of our diverse panel of journalists, but they pan and it's all like sycophantic journalists. So that's the tenor of that stuff this episode. So it's just something a little bit different, you know. It's still kind of it's still hammering that same note. I mean, it's going to be a season of that. It's not going to. I don't know how much they're going to change up, but a solidly amusing episode this week. I thought
good. You mentioned Labubus on this show. I want to say 3 or 4 weeks ago. I didn't know what they were. It's only after the fact that I've come to learn they're like Furbies of the 2020s.
Yeah, but and I learned this from South Park. In fact, this week I didn't realize that there is a loot box element to it. They are like randomized.
I saw them in a shop. Where the fuck was it? It was a post office here. I saw them in the post office, and they had like, we don't do returns or exchanges.
Yeah. They are
boo-boos.
And there's also like a rampant counterfeiting, which funnily enough, actually, I don't think.
Of course there would be.
I'm trying to think, does the episode reference? I don't know if it does. It mainly just focuses on how they're like expensive loot box crap that children fight over. But it was amusing. So yeah.
I'll stick to my trading cards. Thank you very much.
Yes, yeah. Now, if there's a trading card of Mark Briscoe holding a Labubu, I mean, I want that. I want that. If it's a little, because there's also like 800 of them, and there's like, it's wearing it's got a new hat. Like if there's one of it like dressed up like Mark Briscoe, that'd be class. But we'll see. We'll see. Elsewhere on the telly, I don't know why we decided to do this. I think we just wanted something a bit something of this. We wanted a new crime show to start. We started Kin. Have you ever watched Kin?
No, but I know about Kin. I started watching Mobland when a lot of people.
Oh, really? Okay, we're all getting into gritty crime town this week. Kin is the AMC produced sort of gritty crime drama set on the streets of Dublin. And if you're an Irish person and you're listening, it's going to like, an American show about Irish crime. Are we a bunch of Yanks doing bad accents taped on a soundstage in LA? No. I think RTE are involved in some. It's a co-production.
So.
It is a US Irish. It is basically people have speculated it's loosely based on the real life like Kinahan gang. That's completely speculative. They've deliberately gone on the record saying, no, that's not ours is entirely fictional, but who knows? It's about Dublin drug cartels and gangs and inter-family beef. Really great cast. It's got every Irish character actor under the sun. Aidan Gillen, Ciarán Hinds, a whole bunch of others. Watch the first 2 episodes. Really good. Just if you want some kind of like, again, it is gritty. You know, it's hard nosed, but it feels very authentically Irish. One of the houses is literally in an estate next to the Aviva, so there are a million Aviva establishing shots, which are actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
It feels authentically. It doesn't feel like an American got whiff of like the Dublin crime scene and made the worst thing you've ever seen in your life. Like, you know, headed up by Charlie Cox, who was great and everything. So 2 episodes in, really good. Thumbs up on that one.
I'm just now clocking that Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren were both in Thursday Murder Club, and they're both in Mobland.
Yes, yeah. Because actually, when you mentioned his accent, I was like, well, of course, he also had his Mobland accent.
He has a fucking Mobland accent.
Yeah.
And Helen Mirren as well. I've only watched the first 3 episodes of Mobland, but I think it's very good. It's enjoyable. Again, good cast. Guy Ritchie involved as well, of course. Tom Hardy, Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, Paddy Considine. You know, good strong cast.
That's a Paramount thing, is it?
Sure.
That's where we're watching. I'm watching on the AMC Plus app also. That's how I'm watching Kin, of course. I don't know why. I don't know why I asked that question.
Questions like that.
No, I don't know why. I don't know why I asked that question. I got to be honest. I don't know what possessed me to ask that question.
I think it might be on Paramount. I think it might be.
Yeah.
I think it's Paramount.
Anyway,
possibly.
what else have you been watching?
Well, fucking all this South Park talk. Pop South Park in the old bin, lads, because the real good adult cartoon is back. It's Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, it's another new season?
Yeah. Can you shut up? Oh, Beavis and Butthead, man. Fucking Beavis and Butthead, I love it. It's back. It's a new season. Well, let me draw a direct comparison, right? So South Park did their AI episode, which is the one that I just watched, the Integrity Farms.
Oh, the
AI episode.
Yeah.
And the Beavis and Butthead take on AI was they're in school and the teacher tells them about, the danger of AI and that people are using AI for their homework and stuff. They hear, you can use AI for your homework. And they don't know what AI is. So they're walking along and they see the convenience store and it has an ice box outside that has Arctic ice on it with a big A and a big I. And I think that's the AI. And they're talking to it and there's a homeless guy just around the corner who's answering them back. I mean, there's the smart way or allegedly smart way to do it like South Park would do. And then there's the dumbest way possible. Beavis Butthead will always deliver on that. So yeah, they 2 episodes aired, which is 4 episodes if you count each episode is 2
Oh
episodes.
yeah, it's segments, yeah.
It's fucking great. I mean, I never fail to get a laugh out of Beavis and Butthead stuff. It's fucking so good. I hope it never goes away.
Yeah, I want to get back. Once I'm finished, my Mike Judge space is occupied by King of the Hill. When that's done, I think I want to watch Beavis and Butthead from all the way back at the beginning. I want to start from...
Yeah, I did start, and I've got up to season 3 of the original run. A little bit hard to get through those early episodes because I don't think they quite figured out the formula just yet.
No, yeah.
Butthead's voice is slightly different as well until season 4. Then he gets the Butthead voice as we know it today. But it's interesting to watch nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
And I also watched some Taskmaster. I watched the New Year's Treat from just this year gone, which was very good. And I watched the start of season 18, which is the one remaining season I haven't watched. So I've got 6 episodes left to watch, and then I'm literally all caught up with every Taskmaster episode that's ever aired. And the new season begins in 4 days. So I'm trying to be caught up by then. Actually very much enjoying this season. This season is with, let me pull up the cast list here. Jack D immediately springs to mind as being, he's on there doing his shtick. Rosie Jones is on it. Are you familiar with Rosie Jones?
Yes.
Yeah, so Rosie Jones is a contestant who has cerebral palsy and is very unassuming as a result, but she's totally mad and wacky. She is very funny. The one thing with her watching it, though, is because of her condition, she does take a very long time to say things. So whenever she's talking, I am watching the cast as they go lean forward and then keep leaning forward until she gets to the end of her sentence. Yeah, but the payoff is usually worth it because she's outrageous and will say crazy things, even though she's, like I said, very unassuming. Andy Zaltzman, who I'm not familiar with, but who looks like one of the Three Stooges, quite funny on it. Babatunde Alashi, enjoying him. He's kind of a funny goof on it. Emma Zidi, again, one that I wasn't familiar with. She's quite good. Jack D and Rosie Jones. So it was a good little cast. I really enjoyed season 17. So I'm not sure it's quite up to season 17 just yet, but I am enjoying it a lot. And I mean, having someone like Rosie Jones on does give an extra element to the challenges. So for example, there was one challenge that was kind of a fairground, throwing the ball at the tin cans kind of task. And she did whatever so well on it. And it could come back to the studio and she said, I didn't want to use this excuse so early, but I've cerebral palsy. She then ends up coming second in the task anyway. And the other girl, Emma, then said, I didn't want to use this excuse too early, but I don't have cerebral palsy. It's very funny. I mean, Taskmaster is great. I just like the fact that you can have someone on it who's differently abled. And actually, they're not scoring lower because of it.
No,
it just gives an extra element to the task that otherwise you wouldn't even have considered. So yeah, very much enjoyed that as usual. And that's all that I'm watching, but I do have the TV back now. So all the shows are a go again. All the movies are a go again. The PlayStation 5 is set up. So the Death Stranding 2 will recontinue. That hasn't quite kicked off yet. Okay. It's over the next few days. I'll be back on that horse. So I still have no games to speak about, but okay. Next two on the list are finished Death Stranding. So just to remember where I am, and I did just get to Australia, and I think I've done the first mission there. So I'm really just starting the game in a sense. I've done the kind of the tutorial section, and now I'm off to the races. Okay. And then once I complete that, however long that's going to tell me, I will say I don't recall if I did or not, but I played a ton of the first Death Stranding. I want to say I platinumed it. I'm not really. I want to say I did. I don't remember. It's so long since I played. I'm an Xbox guy these days. I don't play a lot of PlayStation, so I don't pay as much attention to the trophies as I used to. I played a ton of Death Stranding, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't platinum it, but I did. I remember going out of my way to do a lot of the extra content in it. I'm not sure I'm going to do it with Death Stranding 2. I've heard from a lot of people that's who have gone for platinum say it's not worth it. Don't do it. Just beat the game, and that's the best experience you'll have. And any more of it you play, you will begin to hate it. So I'm just gonna mainline the game. Thank you, and I'll do the few little bits and pieces of side content as I come across it if I feel like it. But I'm not going to kill myself to try and do everything, because once I beat it, Donkey Kong Bonanza is the next game to get to, and I'm anxious to get that started. So we'll get Death Stranding done, and then we'll be on to Donkey Kong. Oh baby, I love a bit of Donkey Kong. Yeah, I'm really itching to play Donkey Kong. I still don't have the Switch 2 yet, but I think I'm gonna. Neither do I. It's my brother's. I'm gonna borrow it off him. I think I'm gonna sell. It's not fucking worth a whole lot. I think I might sell the old Xbox. Because I mean, it's just literally everything is on the PC that I would want. There's it's I was kind of thinking, well, I might still use it as as a console and under the TV thing. I just never do. You won't. I'm someone who has very little interest at all in PC gaming or PC. Exactly. PC. Yeah. So you only need one or the other. So I will, just put that maybe in the Switch 2 fund. But on the gaming front, the only notable thing I suppose this week is Silksong, which finally came out. I was not a big Hollow Knight guy. I played it for a couple of hours. Neither am I, really. So I'm streaming it every Thursday, and I did the first. First of all, it took hours to get the game. It killed Steam, like one of the biggest launches ever. That's a flex they'll have forever, is that they fucking cause Steam to go down on their launch day. But streamed a little bit of it, and I mean the stream ended with me very grumpy. I was like, I just don't like the way this feels. I don't like the platforming. For anyone who by chance doesn't know, it is a 2D Metroid style game with kind of Soulsy elements, not massively, but it has some Soulsy elements. You have your kind of your resting spots rather than traditional checkpoints, and some bosses, some tough encounters. They have you trekking all the way back because they don't checkpoint you at the beginning of the boss. It's like wherever you last sat your bum down on a bench. I mean, do people not realize by now, if you want to make a hard platformer, the model or the blueprint to follow is the Celeste model. Yes. And I talked about this on stream. I was like, I played Bloodborne. I finished it. I didn't finish it, but I played 50 hours of Elden Ring. I like those games. My least favorite thing in those games is the trekking back. And people, I don't want to fucking lecture about how that's part of the design. It's what you're supposed to be it's part of the struggle. I don't care. I don't fucking care. And I think most people agree that because Elden Ring just has actual there's just actual fucking checkpoints everywhere. Yes. I have no desire to trek everywhere. So I was playing this game and I was struggling to get to grips with the platforming and the aerial combat. And it's it's a game about kind of learning that stuff. But then every time I die having to trek back, I was getting really grumpy with it. And I was like, I'm going to stick with it, because this is the fucking game you're going to be hearing about for the next couple of weeks / months, and then into Game of the Year season. So I'm going to give it a go. And I have been playing it more off air, and I will say it is kind of worming its way into my brain. I still have those qualms, but it is one of those games where the harshness then makes you appreciate you have no map when you start the game. You buy a map area by area. The map doesn't even show you where you are.
But every time you buy one, and then when you buy the compass to show yourself, and then you show and then you buy the pencil to add more areas as you discover them, I'm like, okay, I'm like frustrated, but like it does make it sweeter when I get this stuff. Right. Is the juice worth the squeeze? I remain undecided as of right now. I feel like on a fundamental second-to-second controller in your hand level, I still have major issues with the way it feels, but I think the design is hooking me, and it is a gorgeous looking and sounding game. So I'm mixed on it, but it's getting the hooks in. So I'll stick with it and I'll report back.
The only other gaming news, just before we finish up then,
go on,
is, you know, one of the nights last week, I got down on my fat little knees beside my bed. I said, "Dear God, please make that 007 game the perfect mix of Hitman and Uncharted. That's all I want in life. If you want to take my boiler and let it leak everywhere, that's fine."
Yeah.
And Barry, I don't know about you, but my prayers were answered.
Yeah, look, I really liked it. I really liked what they showed. Yeah, just the right amount of stuff. The first half of that trailer was so Hitman-y. It was so Hitman-y. But I'm very intrigued by that. Trailer was kind of rough around the edges in some ways. I actually kind of liked, because it looked like an actual game being played, an actual in-progress game that was maybe sort of chunky in places. Some of the animations, it was like, okay, good. So this looks like an actual game. It's not some fake like vertical slice thing that, you know, will look completely ludicrous when the actual game comes out. It looks like someone playing a video game. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a bit at the beginning where I was like, I'm ready for this car to arrive now.
Yes. Yeah.
I've been watching this car drive for the last 5 minutes. All right, let's get to it.
But yeah, very, very intrigued by that. Very intrigued by that. I mean, it's been a long time coming as well. So, looking forward to that.
I expect the levels won't necessarily be fully Hitman style. Like, I don't think the areas will necessarily be fully like sandboxy, but rather there'll be like branching paths from like corridor 1 to corridor 2.
Yeah.
Corridor 1 to corridor 3. Corridor 2 will be like, there's 5 different ways you can do it. And it will kind of be more segmented like that, rather than one huge like Paris level or whatever.
The thing I kind of did want when they showed that level in the trailer where he's like, oh, he climbed up the pipe and got in the window. I was like, oh, will they show that same segment again going a different route? And they didn't. They had a sizzle reel later where they showed people going different routes. So I think it's going to be a nice balance of linear, but with open-endedness to it, which they have done pre the modern trilogy. They have done Hitman games like that have been kind of like Absolution was kind of like not really open world, but a standard video game level that has multiple routes. I was very positive on that whole presentation.
Yeah,
that's going to do it for Game Guff and indeed for the show this week. We will be back next week with a full. I shouldn't even say with a full team. I don't know what Joe's schedule is.
Return.
Yeah. So I don't want to. So maybe Joe will be back.
We do though have our all out preview.
Oh yes,
that
yeah. So
2 weeks.
So regardless of who is here, we will be previewing All Out, and updates on probably on the weekly South Park check-in. More Paul has a TV, so there'll be more movies and
I do finally
and telly and all that.
After a month, I have a TV.
Yeah, and I'm going to knock on wood right now. Nothing else will go wrong that will delay his Dynamite viewing.
Gosh, so. It was. I think it was the most I've ever watched Dynamite where I'm like, I know I need to talk about this in the weekend, and I'm on the surface enjoying it, but I'm not taking any of this in.
Yeah.
It was kind of that feeling.
Yeah.
And then my brother put a kettle on during the Tony Storm. I cannot hear what she's saying.
She said something about boobs. You idiot!
She's fucking idiot. These women. So I guess that's a match happening. Yeah, so we'll be back next week. ChairShotPodcast.com. Yes, sir.
Where you can go to pop us an email. It's also where you can go to get your live in real time Fantasy League updates. You can take a look at the Fantasy League and say, hey, Paul, Barry, and or Joe, you should be taking X and you should be swapping them out for Y. Let me tell you, I've got my ear to the ground and I think this person, you can take a look at that. You can let us know. We'll be back next week with more of the same. So, thank you very much for listening. It is goodbye from me. It is goodbye from Paul.
Goodbye.
And I'd imagine it's a goodbye from Joe somewhere out there.
Wherever he is, out there in the ether. Do I hear him?
Oh, there he is.
It might have just been the wind. Well, not now. Goodbye.